There we go. Right. Going live. Going live. We're going live. You're live. Hello, everyone. We are here. And the light is ever so slightly in frame. So to stop it from annoying literally the entire world. Okay, and turn it that way slightly. Other way. Oh, bit too far. Okay, that will probably do. There's like a 1 pixel line at the bottom of the screen. We'll know it's there.
Oh yeah, because we're not actually at the bottom of the bench.
There we go. Okay, now we're good.
That's why.
Now the light is invisible. Blue shirts today. Yeah, I thought I would wear my own merch that Cyborg for me. Yeah, that Cyborg for me. This is not subliminal messaging. The merch is not coming. It's not done. I haven't done anything with it. Anyway, yes, welcome everyone. How are we all doing? I am now going to start looking at chat. Let me get the chat back up on the screen. Right. Liquid metal stream? No, just 3D printed contact frames. Caradog saw a thing and was just like, I need you to make this. I was like, that seems cool, let's try it. So last week, don't mind me, I'm just putting some fittings back on an AIO so I can put this to one side. Last week, we delidded some CPUs and we didn't really get a very interesting result because for two main reasons. Is that A, the contact frame we had, I've lost one of the springs for this. That's annoying.
I'll just look in your piles of screws.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be over there. I think it's fallen on the floor. The contact frame we had was for a different generation of Intel, so we didn't have the correct contact frame. And then in addition to that, just based on just other stuff we weren't doing, like we weren't on extreme cooling and stuff like that, so we basically just didn't really see any difference with just replacing the thermal paste in under the IHC. Yes. So basically, yes. Last week was a very sort of well, that didn't really do a lot kind of thing. Then Caradog saw 3D printed contact frames and was just like, aha, maybe we'll take another swing at it with these.
Aha! I know a man with a 3D printer.
Yes. So yeah, were you just thinking about it and just looked stuff up, or what brought this on?
I was looking for fourth gen contact frames and talking to JD, and JD was like, haha. And I was just like, 3D printed stuff. Yes, that makes sense.
Very good. I'm going to dial in a bit more gain. We're on a room mic today, so. Let me know if the sound is crap. We've just got the condenser because the new mics aren't here because I cheaped out, bought the Amazon warehouse ones, and they're coming from Germany. So thanks for nothing, Germany. You didn't deliver them in time. All of the German viewers are collectively to blame for this. Right, I'm going to put this to one side. Now I've alienated all of our German viewers.
Dozens of us.
All right. Sound is fine. Good. And yes, it is hot. It's not, considering it's 30 degrees, it's surprisingly bearable.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, like, I think the humidity isn't actually that high at the moment because everyone goes, oh, it's the humidity that gets you. But it's actually not that humid. So, yeah,
It's okay.
Yeah. I'm coping surprisingly well. I mean, I'm in 3/4 lengths in a t-shirt, so you know it's actually hot. But
yes,
yes. I don't feel defended. I don't feel offended. Currently not feeling enjoyment. Fair enough. Right.
Yes, 21.8 C. Apparently 90% humidity.
What
at home?
Yeah, I was going to say, is that in your house? You prick.
No. That's the outdoor sensors on the aircon. I'm just like,
I don't think so, because Google says it's 30C out there right now.
Yeah.
And it sure as hell ain't 20. Otherwise,
28.
Oh, 28. I thought...
Yeah, 28.1.
Oh, okay. I thought you said...
28.1, 90% humidity.
Okay, I thought you said like 20.1 or something. I'm like, huh?
No, 28.1.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Can you pass me my designated cup? the G cup, the G cup, and I'm going to pour myself some Arctic Coffee, who are not sponsors, but I don't know if they wanted to reach out or something. Actually, maybe not, because as I say, I had one of these on Thursday and felt kind of ill, which I think is just maybe me becoming lactose intolerant. I don't know. I'm not going to have a pint of this. I'm going to have like half. There we go. The other thing as well is I realised I got the caramel one, which is more creamier than this one. So maybe that had an impact on it. I don't know. However, coffee without the warmth. Very nice.
Ah, yes. Right. Natural coffee as opposed to artificial coffee.
I see.
Good.
Right.
Rounded
you sadly spend 350 days a year in shorts and a short-sleeve polo shirt. Simply too hot even in winter for a proper suit.
That's because you live in Australia.
Yeah.
Insert hubris.
Skill issue, yeah. I would not survive in Australia, but then I'd probably be acclimatized to it. You know?
After 30-something years.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Like,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, Paul Daniels said on his stream the other day, he was talking about the heat, and he said, yeah, well, you know, we can't deal with the cold. And it's just like, yeah, there you go. That makes sense, I guess, doesn't it? So, all right. Ew, cold coffee. Look, it's hot, yay. It's hot. So, yeah.
I'm with yay.
My EKAIO squeezes all the thermal paste out. Does that mean I got it too tight? Most likely you're using too much paste, I would say. Like a little bit of squeeze out is fine, not to be confused with pump out, which is a different phenomenon. However, with the EK all-in-ones, all of the tension is provided. Well, I've got one right here.
And the bench cam is right there.
Yes.
It's almost like we do this.
This is an illegal EKAIO. It's illegal because it's 120 millimeters, and it's just like, but why though? What? Like seriously, why does this exist? EK bench cam with face. Carol, what have you done?
I did nothing.
We're on bench cam with face. If I go to there, okay. Bench cam with
have
face.
you turned on the bench cam?
Okay, but our face should not be this big on this one. Instabench is on, right? That should not be full screened.
It was, yes, because I reset it and then you went, oh, there's no stream. So I stepped away.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Oh, you were still working on it.
Yes.
I was leaning in to do Mike because I thought you were done. I didn't realise you were still doing stuff. Why don't you challenge me on these things?
Because every now and then, you know, you have a thing. And sometimes, you know, it's best to just let you do the thing.
Preview, go away. I see. I'm partially offended.
There you go.
Okay, right. There we go. Here's an upside down picture of the monitor. As you can see, this is an EKAIO. Now I'm processing what to do next.
Oh, it's the freezer. I couldn't work out what the black loop was with the white side.
What are we playing? Yeah, okay, yes. Right.
Point it down at the bench, yes.
I'll point you down at the bench in a minute. Right, okay. That needs to be inverted. Okay, there we go. Right, now everything makes sense. Okay. That's good enough. That's good enough. Alright, so. EKAIO. EIEIO. There's too many letters. So, and like the reason why I'm showing this is just because this goes for a lot of CPU coolers. So, here's the thing. When there's the standoff that's going to go onto so that's screwing into the motherboard, and the CPU cooler is sitting on there, and there's no pressure that's keeping it down at all other than its own weight. And even if you put this screw on the whole way, there's still no pressure actually holding it down. The only thing providing pressure to actually push the CPU cooler down on the thing, come on, is the spring. So the spring goes on like so, and then the nut goes on top of the spring. So now, when I wind down the nut, we're now compressing the spring, and the spring's compression is now pushing the cooler down onto the CPU. So all coolers, they will be set up that the thread will hit the stop at the correct tension. So you just take that down to the stops, and that is now, just take it down to the stop so it stops, and that is now providing the correct amount of pressure. And if I really press it, it's still got some more compression in there, but that's too much. So the thread will stop when it's enough. This is why you don't need to tighten these. You don't need to go, oh, with the screwdriver, because that is not what is providing the tension. The spring is. You just take it down to the stops and that's it. So, for that reason, you won't have your EK cooler too tight because you literally can't over-tighten it. You take it down to the stops and that is what is correct when you have this style of mount. So yeah, if your thermal paste is oozing out, it probably means you've got too much thermal paste on there. Went on a bit of a tangent there. However,
the other option is that it's just an incredibly thin paste that is prone to pump out.
That could be the case.
So yeah, yes, some pastes will spread more over time than others, and it's just a case of so it depends.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So probably put too much thermal paste. You spread the thermal paste out. So you try the P method instead. I don't think that's your problem. Spreading is ultimately the best method. P method is an absolute no. P method is no. Personally, I do X marks the spot. Spreading is the best if you can be bothered to do it. I think you just had too much paste. I think it's that simple.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, like when you take the cooler off, you will probably find there is plenty of paste under the cooler, and it was just all excess that came out. Especially when you're spreading paste, it's easy to use too much because it's like buttering bread. You're trying to make sure you've got even coverage everywhere, so you kind of just keep putting more on, kind of thing. It's difficult to judge how much you're putting on when spreading, I think. But yeah, by the sounds of things, I think your technique was correct. You just used too much. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Like jam on toast.
Yeah.
I don't think you should use thermal paste as jam, personally.
No, would not advise.
0 out of 10.
Yeah. So yes, right. Let's put that to one side. Okay, so I've got to remember that my voice won't be heard when I turn away from the desk today.
You just turn around and suddenly you have to really project and become Barry Scott.
Did Barry Scott die? Or is he still alive?
I as far as I'm aware, he's alive, but,
okay.
You know, I don't follow him.
Oh, I'm thinking of the American equivalent. Never mind. Anyway.
Oof, that's a lot of damage.
What, that I'm referring to Billy Mason as
Billy Mays.
Billy Mays, that's the
Billy
one.
Mays here.
Yeah, Billy Mays here. But wait, there's more. I mean, Barry Scott is basically the British Billy Mays, isn't he? You know, like let's not kid ourselves. Tech. Let's talk about it.
If Graham projected his voice, he'd go full Partridge.
I haven't watched much Alan Partridge. However, a video that I think about a lot is the one where Alan Partridge is the football commentator. And there's one where he's doing at his all-time favourite goals kind of thing. And it starts off as like sensible commentary, and then it just devolves into like the guy kicks the ball, it goes in the net, and he goes, shit! Like that was his commentary for how good that goal was kind of thing. He's like, and he uses terms like, that's liquid football right there, and stuff like that. And he's just like, what is liquid football? You know, and it's very funny. Right. I was trying to get us onto tech and the talking thereof. So,
please continue.
We have two topics immediately before us. What are we going to do? What are we going to start messing around with these contact frames, or are you going to change a battery?
Yeah. I mean, I can do either or both.
At the same time?
I mean, there is not that much involvement on either, I feel.
Yeah, it's true.
Because we're mostly just offering things up and just going, this is probably too thick.
Yes. Well, should we offer those up and confirm they're too thick first?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Also just make sure that they vaguely do the right thing.
So yes, we have three versions.
I'm going to move the camera across.
Yeah, I just put it out the way.
Yes.
So I was certain that you would, take umbrage.
I'm offended by you implying that I would take umbrage at things. Right, let's see. Probably about that will do, I would say. Sanding down the thing. Well, I don't... oh, yes, no, we can. We can sand down the top of them.
Yes.
Yes. Right. Bench cam.
The thing we need...
Oh, which is up there now, apparently. That's fine. Right.
What? Why wouldn't the bench cam be here? You just moved it.
No, but it aimed upwards, and I'm not sure why.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Presumably...
Like, yes, Graham, you moved it. That's why it's here.
Look. Caradog hand jump scare. Alright, that'll do. That'll do. We need to tone down the exposure on that big time. Just auto-expose, that'll do. Nice. Very good. Okay, right. So let's zoom down on those. There we go. Alright. So we've got three to start off with. They are PLA, yes. So I printed 3 of these off at the 3 standard thicknesses of Cura. We've got the standard thickness, which is 0.2 millimeter. So that means each layer of the print is 0.2 millimeters. Then we've got dynamic, which is 0.16 millimeters, and then I did a fine print, which is 0.12, I think. So the advantage is the finer we go, the thinner the layers are. So theoretically, it should be a better print because there is just more resolution to it per se. Possibly more accurate. However, also, I think the finer print came out thicker because I think with the other prints, when it came to do another layer, it was like, that's going to take us over the thickness that this is supposed to be. So it just binned that layer, basically. Yeah. It just said, it will be too thick if I print this layer, so I won't add this layer. The slicer decided that. So the fine one actually came out a shade thicker because it could get closer to the target thickness. That's my theory. Yes. However, Caradog then immediately came in, picked up one of them, was like, ha, that's far too thick. And I was like, oh, yes. Now you
I took the CPU, I put the CPU in the thing, and then went,
Yes. So what we're doing now is we have printing. Let's just see. Let me just bring the preview up just so I can see what we're doing. Whoop. 254, that's wrong. 247, I think. There it is. Yeah, how long have we got left on that?
42 minutes?
42 minutes, yeah, it's got a bit to go. However, the desktop. What has happened to anything?
I don't know. It was fine when I left last week.
Bleh. I don't know. Well, that can go there. We can go there and do that. And then I will lock these and hide OBS. Anyway, behold, we're printing another one. So this one is thinner. This one is a thinner one across the board. So yeah, that is currently printing away. So this one hopefully should have half a chance of working. So basically we're expecting all of the ones that we currently have, we're expecting to be crap.
That's cool.
All of the ones that we currently have, we're expecting to be crap. However, this one hopefully should be thin enough to not be crap. So yeah, that's the plan. Should have used ABS. PLA creeps and isn't the greatest temperature. Yeah, pretty much.
But also,
the temperature
isn't PLA good for like 85C or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we're printing at 200C.
Yeah.
You know, so
I was going to say,
yeah,
if your CPU substrate is it 85C, something has gone dramatically wrong.
And also, that's if your CPU is at 85C, the core is at 85C. Your cooler's cold plate, I should hope, is not at 85C. Like bearing in mind that when your core is, when your hotspot is 85C, if you move like 2 millimeters away from that, you're going to be 10 degrees cooler, kind of thing. Deltas are real, basically, and so even though your CPU core might be up in 70 or 80, theoretically your actual cold plate should be nowhere near that. So we're not expecting this to be an issue in the slightest. So 60C is deform, yeah. Either way, and the other thing as well is this is kind of a dry run for extreme cooling as well, where potentially we're going to be running it in negative figures anyway.
Yeah.
So again,
certainly the intention to have the ability to, at least.
Yeah. So theoretically, this shouldn't be an issue. See, we're on top chat. Oh yeah, I'll change it to live chat. I've never seen the difference between top chat and live chat. I don't think our chat is busy. I don't think our chat is busy enough for it to matter. What's the point of layer height? You don't need detail. Well, I'll show you where that might make a difference. I'll need to show you under the microscope. Oh, that's going to take ages to set up. No, I won't show you under the microscope. Basically, the layer height makes a difference in certain detail areas. Let's go to the bench cam again.
Yeah,
so,
it's on the actual thickness of this part.
Yeah.
Here, because the CPU is going into here and needs to poke through, you need to control how thick these parts are to actually a reasonably high degree of precision.
Yeah.
Because you want the die on the CPU to barely peak above this.
Yeah.
So that it makes contact with the cooler, but then the cooler instantly makes contact with this.
Yeah.
So you're not crashing.
So essentially,
crushing things.
Going to a smaller layer height means that the thickness is more accurately represented. If the printer can only print in 0.2 millimeter increments, then it will, after shrinkage and accuracy, it will literally just not be able to hit the actual specified thickness. Whereas the thinner layers we go to, the more likely it is theoretically to hit the actual thickness that it is supposed to be on the model. Yeah. Because obviously the model is 100% accurate, but the printer doesn't have that level of accuracy. So theoretically, the finer, the thinner layer height we go to, the more likely we are to actually hit the target.
Yeah.
So yeah. Then you modify the model and not let. Yeah, we're not trying to change how we have specified the exact thickness we want, and so theoretically, increasing resolution means we're more likely to get that thickness. You're right. You could modify the model, but that's kind of like saying that now we're doing it by. Now we're judging it by eye instead of by measurement, which is doable, but if you can do it by measurement, that's better,
Yeah.
So yes. Coffee is fine, but I hope you get some proper cider as well. Fufens, thank you for the 100 SEKs. Yes, we will definitely be going to cider. I just wanted some coffee. So yes. Fear not, but thank you very much. You can tune the layer height within the slicer. Yes, that's what we're doing. That's how we're changing the layer thickness. So yeah, this is done within the slicer. Yeah. Well, you don't modify that on the printer itself. The printer is the thing doing the printing, but yes, we're modifying that from the slicer. Yeah, I think we're crossing wires there. So,
Yes. I think we should take out the 4th gen.
And have a look
from that, and have a look with these.
Yes. So let's have a look.
Because
this
is an i3, 3rd gen i3. So hopefully the 4th gen will be a thicker die.
Oh, that's true.
And make this slightly closer.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, right. I will... right, if you want to make space, I will grab the board.
Make way. Oh. I will take all of my stuff and put it all the way over here.
Oh. Some idiot screwed the motherboard back in.
Was it you?
Yes.
Oops.
If I hadn't screwed the motherboard in, I would have been able to just take the cover off the case and pull the motherboard out. Let's go to there. Let's see.
Here's my comment.
I see.
Your car screwdriver.
Yes.
It's there.
It's fine, I've got another one.
I didn't even want that one.
Yeah. Postal, what is your plan for this Vega that you've bought? Like, is it just something to just overclock the balls off of or something? Because yeah, Postal was acquired a China Vega 64 just to see what condition it's actually in, and like part of me is like, well, that's kind of interesting, but for what purpose? I'm curious.
It's kind of interesting.
But why? Yeah.
But why?
Oh.
Did it?
I did a U and I only screwed it in with 2 screws.
Good.
Which is one more than I would need.
One.
Spare GPU and it's really cheap. Fair enough.
It's only cheap.
Hi there,
if it
I'm
actually
late.
works.
Hi late, how you doing? There we go. Right, that lives up there. I'm going to put that somewhere else.
You're going over here.
Ooh. Okay. Right, bench cam with face. You zoom out. Oh yeah, that'll do nicely. All right. Good. Okay, so yeah, this was the one we were working on last week. So under here, we've got the 4770S. I think we were working on, or was yeah, I think
it should be a 4770K.
Oh, 4770K. Yeah, that's the one. And we delidded this and we replaced the thermal paste under it. So now we can just take the IHS off and.
That was a pretty good application.
So now theoretically we can just take all of this off and replace all of the mounting hardware with the contact frame and see what happens, basically. So yeah.
Oh, I presume the iFixit doesn't have large T-star.
No, the Proxon kit will have that. Yep.
Well, I say large, I can't actually remember how big it was.
Ooh. Break that out, hopefully without banging the thing. That's the one great thing about using the lapel mics, is we don't have to worry about banging stuff on the counter.
No!
I was slightly out of reach then, so I kind of just reached out like, stop, don't go. So,
No, Jack!
Right.
Ugh.
If you can be asked, lapping the IHS in the water bot would result in better thermal improvement. Yeah, possibly.
What, than going direct dye?
I was going to say, well, yeah, I was going to say direct dye is going to be better. We're already past that point. It's just that is a thing that you can also do.
Oh, okay, it took the CPU. I was half expecting the IHS to come off.
Oh, fair enough. That's probably glued down pretty good, I'd imagine, by the thermal paste.
Yeah.
Right. Am I going to have any more of this? I'll have a little bit more as a treat.
Spicy. Come here.
That'll do.
Okay.
Right. and I'm going to hit the cider.
Yes. This was before 770k. Good.
Very well. Is there any mileage in like just sharpieing that somewhere on the chip?
Hey, can do.
Although I think we'll probably remember. But okay, right. What do you need for that?
I think it's a 15.
Oh yeah. Actually, I think it might be. I'm going 20. Yeah, it's 20.
That
What's 25
front
then? Because
one is bigger than the back too, I think.
possibly, yeah, 20 for the front. Okay, and then why would they make them different? That's monstrous.
I don't know, but it certainly seemed to be.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah, it's 20 for both, I think, yeah. Yeah, no, it's 20 for both. However, yeah, the front one feels a little bit looser, but it's clearly indicated to be TX20. Or T20. We don't pay our licensing fees in this house. Yeah, license. You got a license for that, Talks.
You got a license for that screwdriver?
Yeah. You got a permit for that license.
Ah.
No?
There's also just the capacitors. Just there.
Interesting.
But, yes. See how much?
Too thick, yeah.
It is off.
Yeah. Okay. Shall I grab some sandpaper and shall we YOLO it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And possibly side cut a time. Yeah. Do you want to carry on taking off the ILM so we can offer it up and see if we need to shave off capacitor, clear the capacitors as well? Yeah. Well, what are you doing there at the moment? Because
I was just putting that in the socket just so I could do that and then go.
Oh, I see.
Because now if we drop something on the socket, it won't mash the pins.
Oh, okay. Yes, I get you now. Yeah.
It will mash an i3.
Yes. Very well. Yeah. Let's take the ILM out and let's just put it in there and see what it looks like, so we can see if we need to cut out space for the capacitors as well. The glue has already been removed. There are markings.
Yeah, on this one.
Yeah, there's markings there, but like it's like literally it's razor thin, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's a good shot. Yeah.
This one, no, we've not bothered to do anything with because it's an i3 for a board we don't actually have.
We could probably go nuts and remove the rest of the glue from that, but I don't think that's actually an issue in the slightest.
Not on that one.
No.
On this one, yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Oh, that was slightly scary. Because this is ever so slightly the wrong shape, it sat just diagonally.
Right.
Where are the dots? There are the dots.
Right, while you do that, I'm going to find sandpaper.
There should be many sheets.
Yes.
Of many grades.
Yes, I know you bought a large amount.
Yes. There should be some like P60 in there.
Oh yeah, there's bare loads here. So yes, put that behind us. That's now on hand. Very good.
There you go.
Cool. Let's zoom down on that. That's kind of neat. It's a. I used a tricolor filament for this for style, but it didn't come out that well. However, yeah, that's kind of neat. I'm just gonna tip that up just so we can. Oh, it's hard to see on the camera. Yeah, I was just looking to see if you could see the disparity. Right. So do we clear the? Sorry for ruining your entire world there, but I just wanted to see it. Caradog smiles. Right. Do we need to clear those capacitors? Is that a problem?
I mean, half and half.
I see.
It stops it falling out the socket.
Yes. Okay, so we just need it to be thinner. Cool. All right, let's sand it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so if we're going to sand it, we need to make sure it's level, right? Does that matter hugely?
Not right now.
Okay.
It just needs to be less thick.
Fair enough.
And then we'll work that out later. Because it won't be level anyway, because it's resting up on the capacitors on one side.
Okay.
So it will be a case that it will sit slightly wonky anyway.
Yeah.
And we'll need to modify the cutout.
Yeah. Yeah, because we can get the cutting board and just we can just get a sharp knife and just cut the hole slightly larger. However, hypothetically though, it fits, so that's a good start. You know, it went on. And, yeah.
There was very little risk of it not fitting, just because obviously this bit has basically not changed.
Yeah.
4th gen to 10th gen.
Well, also the fact that all the holes lined up as well. It meant we weren't half an inch out from where we needed to be, basically. Because that can happen. I've done prints before where the size has been correct on the model, but when you actually printed it and it shrunk slightly and you put it up, you're like, we're not even on the same page here, kind of thing. And that's a case
Annoying.
of sometimes a reprint it will do it, but sometimes you're like, no, this requires the model to be modified.
Yeah.
And like we have an STL for this. But I don't have the model per se, so yeah. We've got some stock temps for comparison. You took notes last week. Did you retain those notes?
They are on the SSD that we did for this.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Was the SSD the that black and blue one?
It was the Samsung 850 Pro.
Okay. There's a severe danger that I formatted it.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I will check. However, yes, there's a severe danger that I formatted that. For reasons that I needed it, but...
For reasons that I need. Right now, I need reasons. Quickly.
Where is...
320s. Oh no. Oh, I meant way finer than I thought I did on this. This is only 320.
I've got decorating sandpaper and stuff. If we need something,
we'll probably want one of those to start with.
Yeah. So if we've got to actually take off material, I can get some. I can get some
that's
concrete.
What 320 is, and we'd want 100.
We'll be here all day with that, won't we? Yeah. Very well.
I'll keep that effectively as a finishing sheet, because we're not going with that. Precise. That's the word I wanted. Okay. Da, 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 da.
There we go. I've got 40, 70 and 100 in there.
Ah, sweet. Suitable for wood, paint, varnish, plaster. Doesn't mention PLA.
Right, I'm going to quickly plug this in and find out if I've ruined your day.
Would you like literally just bits of sand? Giant bits of sand?
Crystalline in structure. I didn't format it.
Congratulations.
I got close to formatting it, but then it turns out that I didn't need it.
Excellent. Is this wet paper or is this dry paper?
Put some cider on it. That'll
Use
probably
the right
help.
grade. Use the right grades. Use a sequence of grades. Use a sanding block. Use a paintbrush? What? Oh no. Use a cloth. Okay, whatever. Fine. Oh yes, be careful about pre-1960 paint surfaces as they contain lead.
Ah. Oh, yeah. Everyone is saying dry.
Yeah.
What? I'm assuming that if it was wet, it would actually just say wet and dry.
Yeah, yeah. This one is either.
Yeah. How can you tell? Is it the colour? Brown is usually dry, black is usually wet and dry. Okay, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Very well.
I'm literally just going to go... Damn it!
Damn it, Spud. Okay, right.
I'll allow you to fandangle as you wish. But I was literally just going to go...
Ah, a spring.
Excellent. No, okay. I was just wondering if I had some way of mounting this to something to then be like...
Yeah.
But no. But just...
Yeah, pretty much. Right.
I think the sound is going to be horrifying.
What if I do... Right, I tell you what. We're gonna mute for we're gonna mute, and Caradog is gonna go for a moment. Stop it. We'll be back momentarily after this scratching, everyone. Right.
However, we have
we removed any material at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Look at the dust.
Yeah, we have some dust. I mean, we're only looking to take off fractions of a mil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's fine and don't mute. Oh, okay, hang on a sec. It does not sound that bad. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Is this bearable?
I think it was mostly because it looked like it was hitting the clipping.
Ah, okay. As you can see, our bench is top tier.
Ah, my fingertips.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's definitely thinner because see how the beveling that was there is no longer.
There we go. Yeah.
As everyone's saying about smoothness, I am not interested in smoothness right now. I'm interested in being remotely the correct level of thickness.
Yeah.
We're out by orders of millimeters here.
Yeah, yeah.
I will be concerned about flatness and we'll use tempered glass.
Yeah, like when
we're at the right order of thickness.
When we're number chasing, then we start worrying about flatness. Right now, we're just trying to find out if this fits and is viable. Whereas, yeah.
Because the other print we did was 0.2 of a millimeter thinner?
Yes. So, yeah. This was supposed to be 0.8, and that one is supposed to be 0.6. Yeah. So, yeah.
Can your calipers can do that, can't they?
Apparently, yes. Don't know how much I trust them, but the problem is you can't get them inside there to measure.
Why not? Why can't I just do that?
Oh, I see. I didn't think of that. You might want to zero it out
effectively.
First.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, there's so much sand on the table.
Who's been doing the woodwork here?
Her. This may be 0.4 thick. Which I struggle to believe.
I was going to say, what would be interesting is to compare it against one of the other ones that we haven't touched, because...
Oh, no. It's like 1.2 thick. There we go, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Where did they go?
Oh, they're over there with this stuff. Yeah. The other two, I did a test. So I told you this earlier on, but for the sake of the camera, I did a test print which I abandoned at 50%. I then snapped it in half and measured it in between the jaws of the calipers to check what I was actually getting, and the 0.8mm thickness was printing at 0.7mm.
This appears to be 1.7 thick. Like that internal bit there.
Okay.
According to the calipers.
Yeah. Different measurement methods, I fear. So I don't know if we've got. I don't know if we have the ability to get an accurate measurement on this, other than just eyeballing it. Although just getting comparisons is a start.
And then this is 1.1. So that one's 1.1, and this one is.
I shouldn't have changed filament, really. I was trying different filaments just to see if one of them would give a better print. But what we've actually done is just introduced a new variable that we can't change after the fact.
Yeah, and this is probably 1.1.
This definitely looks thinner.
Oh, that's good. Given that this is finished, I somewhat vote we just swap to this one.
Well, have a look at both, because it will be like, we'll put that one on and see if it's vaguely correct, and then we'll quickly compare to the one you just sanded down, just to find out if that was actually achieving anything.
That hole didn't come out very well. It's in fact a triangle.
If a screw goes through it, it's a hole. A hole is not specified to be round.
I presume we can't edit this file. This thing easily to make this hole different.
Not easily. Okay. I could do it with time, but I can't do it live, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Because basically I'll have to load up the STL.
Just because, yeah, we'd want to basically just go to here.
Yeah.
And then come across to there.
Yeah, I'd have to modify the model, which I'm capable of doing, but again, that's not something I'm going to try and do live.
Yeah.
Also because I currently work in Blender, which is not the right tool for doing this in.
However,
it's functional, but
if I do this,
yeah, JD's just saying side cutter it. Yeah, I would use a knife, but
yeah. But does that not look roughly the same height?
Feels it, you know, like just running my finger across there. I'm like, yeah, that seems like it's in the right ballpark. I think that's probably worth bolting down and taking it for a spin.
It is slightly too low.
Slightly too low.
Sorry, it's
the
still
core
thicker.
Is
the core is lower.
Yeah.
Than this.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll need to modify this side and to take out the capacitors.
And if you offer up the offer up the fine one again,
which is here,
and we just see whether the sanding did anything at all with that.
Also, welcome to the back of my head.
We're not on bench cam at the moment.
But yeah.
Out of curiosity, how am I storing my filament? In sealed bags at the moment. A filament dryer is on my sort of list of things that I want, but not something I'm super worried about at the moment, because wet filament is not currently causing me problems.
Oh yeah, no, we're just miles out.
Oh yeah, that's still just yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other white ones were closer. That one just came out really thick. Are those closer?
Slightly.
Yeah, so it feels
not
like
massively.
this. I think this filament just came out really thick.
Yeah, not massively closer though.
Yeah. All right. However, yeah, dropping to the 0.61. Is there any mileage in me printing another one of these? Is there any modification we want to do and start the print off now?
I don't know what modifications can we make now. Because what we need to do is take that off and somehow make this thinner.
Yeah.
That's the actual modifications we need. This needs to be thinner. Yeah, because obviously as we take material off here, we're also lowering the cooler.
Yes.
So it's a case that at some point we'll find a point where the cooler is at the bottom of its mount, and this.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Whilst that shouldn't, in theory, matter because this socket, the CPU shouldn't be able to sink too low.
Yeah.
Because obviously the cooler will be applying pressure to it normally through the IHS, but it's just a case of there's a difficulty there.
Yeah, because I can tell the slicer to just make the model slightly shorter, which would basically be like squashing it slightly, which is a very imprecise way of changing the dimensions of it. And I'm just trying to gauge whether that would help us or not.
I don't think it'd be useful.
No.
Because
it'd be the equivalent of sanding it down. Yeah. But also it will be a very imprecise change, although no less precise than sanding. But yeah. Because sanding, we're just eyeballing it, which is about as imprecise as you can possibly get. So yes. Okay. Yes. The only other thing I can do is just start another print going, just in case we make a hash up of that one. But because we're going to trim it slightly, but yeah.
How do you wish to take out that bit of plastic?
Right. With a cutting mat and a knife. Could you mark that on that side? Because I'm going to do it like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, which of my knives is vaguely sharp? That one, I think. Right. I can go to one side.
What was this?
That was part of the support because it was printed with the hole up that way up.
Hole.
It needed some support underneath the holes, yeah. Even still, it hasn't supported very well, which is why the holes came out all weird, but don't know. I don't think those holes are particularly important because they're just holding the holding the ILM in place.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not like they need to be precise; they just need to be present.
Yeah. Takes an hour to print one of these frames with the current printer set up. I'm sure it could be optimized. I just haven't optimized it. Right. I'm going to just eyeball this. Oh. Thanks for the sound effects. Need more blade length. I was very upset when Muerto said he described my knife as a spoon.
What?
And I was just like, how dare you? But there might have been an element of truth in his words. Okay, there we go. That seems to have come out fairly well. I'm just going to tidy up that edge. There you go. How's that look?
We might have to go slightly further back. Yeah, can you take out this bit?
Oh, that notch. Yep.
Here? Just because the capacitors extend ever so slightly beyond the back of that.
Ah, very well. Yep.
And they are whatever size that is. What's it? 0.1mm by 0.1mm capacitors.
The size is too damn small.
Yes.
Just put 0805s on there. She'll be right.
I don't think they'd fit. Oh yes, we're using the latest 14nm lithography and through-hole capacitors. Shouldn't it doesn't make...
ESR, barely know her.
Shouldn't it doesn't make... What? Will the frame deform? No, because it's not actually touching the hot bit. Because the hot bit... Oh. Hold on. Back to cam. The hot bit is this bit. Everything else is actually shockingly cold. And there is an exclusion around this. and this should be touching straight into the bottom of the cooler. So the actual frame should see 30C?
Yeah.
40C maybe?
This ain't a heat sink.
Yeah.
There we go. Give that a whirl.
Yep. There you go.
I use Cura slicer.
There you go.
How's that looking? It's,
yeah, that's
good.
good.
Oh, yeah. Like I bought one. Like I bought one. Tongue at the right angle, yeah.
But yeah, there you go.
It's worth noting that this might go terribly wrong, but in which case we'll have learned something. Because I think really the question is, can you 3D print
I'm going to do a really bad level test. Where is some crappy thermal paste?
Oh, yeah. It is on there somewhere. Yeah,
there.
That's it. There's the crap stuff.
I'm going to use the method. I'm going to assume that the bottom of this heatsink is level. And then I'm going to go... and then go... Yes, there's very much contact on everything we care about.
Okay, yep. Given the accuracy of that test, I was like, I'm not sure what you're measuring. But however...
that actually touches that.
Yes.
Because if this was still too thick, it wouldn't touch even with the thermal paste.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it smushed it everywhere, which clearly shows that there is a level of contact there. Yeah. Whereas if it had just pancaked it slightly, that would show that there was not any meaningful contact.
Yes.
So yeah, awesome. Okay.
And I was expecting there to be no contact and it to not adhere.
Yeah.
And then when it lifted off, I was just like, there was contact.
Clearly, it did something. Yeah. Fair enough. Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
You should join the Prusa Slicer fan club. Yeah, I did download Prusa Slicer. It just the interface was a bit more scary, and I was like, I'm scared. I'm going back to Cura. So yeah. And yeah, limited use items. These aren't good long. Yeah, I think that this is. No, I don't think you would class these as dailies. I think this is more of a mad lad,
that's bendy.
Suicide run kind of approach.
That is quite bendy. Delicately.
But also, well, we don't know how good this is. We're about to find out, you know. Like, we might bolt all this up and find... I mean, yeah, I don't think this is going to be good long term, but for an overclocking run, we might find out that this works a treat and be like, wow, look at that, if you're doing suicide runs.
There it is.
And, yeah.
The next test would be to see whether there's sufficient contact, with the mount in place.
Yeah.
Because obviously that will hold the cooler at a certain height.
Cool. Right. I'll go back to face cam while Caradog bolts that down again.
Oh no! Stop it! Damn it!
I think that the spacer is going to get toasty and low temp creep due to compression and nearby temps. Heat soak, basically, yeah. I don't think the heat soak is going to be that much. Like, I don't know, actually, to be honest. I think we're going to find out, basically. I think it also depends on whether we're going long term or not. I'm going to rinse out my cup and put some cider in it.
Very well. You do that like the free agent that you are. There you go. I think we might see some minor issues at the very ends here, just because they are quite close. But also, I don't expect the very, very edges of the silicon to actually get that hot.
Yeah. Oh my days. Sorry,
it's warm.
Yes.
In it.
It is a bit, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, right. What do we need for a test run? So we've got cooling, we've got an SSD, we've got RAM, we just need a power supply, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, it's by your foot. We need a SATA.
Right. The power supply. And then we're going to need...
SATA.
Yeah, you've got that. Oh, a SATA cable. Is there not one over here? Yes, there is. I was going to say, I can't have gone far. Right, we've got that. Do you want me to pick all this up? That's that. I'm going to set up capture.
Yeah. You gone?
Do we trust the XR1 at the moment? Was that working last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't remember.
Just seems to be with that computer. You were you using the USB 4 cable? I can't remember.
Forget. I think I was using this one. I'm going to use this one because it's in my hand.
Yeah, I think you were using the fancy cable.
Yeah. Ultimately, I still need to. As per your suggestion, get a nice long USB extension. So we've got a USB hub for the stream computer on this bench.
I was looking, and the longest you can get that's spec compliant is 2 meters.
Gross.
You can get non-spec compliant ones that are 3 meters.
Yeah, that's...
because the spec says 2 meters.
Yeah.
And then you need active cables, which instantly means £90.
I'm standing in front of the camera while I think
yes.
what I need
HDMI.
HDMI.
Yes, you need a big long HDMI. Where is your big and long HDMI?
I need something that's big and long.
Yes.
Right. I'm going to go HDMI out.
Yes.
And...
oh my.
That one. Under the bench. Cool. That should be our capture. Do we need a video card?
No.
Cool.
Not in this instance.
Good. All right.
Hello.
Let's do it. All right, capture with face bench cam. There we go. All right, we're setting up.
Where did the SSD go? Oh, there. Where is the?
We're running out of the Perry.
Yeah, 'cause what was it? Is it a 1 litre?
Probably.
No.
No, it must be more
1.5. Oh, 3. 3 litres, which means we should get 6 pints from it.
$3 litres, and we've had 4 pints out of it.
Yeah. In theory, we should get effectively 3 weeks. SATA.
Come on. All right. There's dregs in the bottom of it.
Yeah. That's right, we can squeeze the bag later.
Yeah. Look.
I did it. I plugged it in without mullering the connector.
Good job. Proud of you.
Can I have power?
Yes. Right.
That's us.
I can't help but notice the cooler isn't on. What's your plan? Are you gonna
I'll put the cooler on in a second.
Are you post-testing?
No, I was just plugging the stuff in.
I see.
Because to put the cooler on, I do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now. And ta-da.
Something not to a master race, yeah. I fitted a Thermalright Silent Assassin this week. And I picked that up on Amazon for like £38.
Oh yeah, the SK62. The box is over there.
Yeah. And I was quite impressed. I was like, yeah, this is nicely presented. It looks really good in the computer and stuff like that.
The only thing I don't like is the bit that says open to unleash the chill force.
Yes. I did see bits of that on the box. I was like, please don't do that, you know. Rock solid, heart touching. Just yeah.
Strong and stable.
Oh no.
Strong and stable.
We don't need slogans and taglines on our coolers. Just But yeah, at any rate, yeah. I have, again, part of me is kind of coming around to air cooling again in a way.
Yes.
You know, just because there's some nice ones out there. Because, like, for example, this Noctua, I don't like the look of this. I think this looks ugly, and I don't like the heat pipes poking out the top and stuff. But like the Silent Assassin, it had nice caps over the top, so it had a nice finish over the top and looked smart, kind of thing. And like lots of people are just like, oh, I don't care what it looks like. I want it to perform well. It's like, okay, that's fine, but aesthetics are important to me. I do want it to look pretty, you know. And I don't think it's a tall ask to want both.
Oh yeah, kind of. A difficulty we might end up with is that these plastic things are obviously designed for an IHS.
I see, yeah. The model came with with a model for those.
Yeah.
To make your own spaces.
Yeah.
We could. So basically, we need to figure out if we're limited by the cooler height, don't we?
Yeah.
If we can figure that out sooner rather than later, those probably won't take long to print, like half an hour. So yeah, we can. Yeah, I have a model for those already. I just need to know how big to make them. So if we measure those and then go down slightly, we should end up with something that works.
Where's power? There.
Let's bring up the capture. All right, we are power cycling at the moment. Aha. Memory. Nah. That was one long, four short, but any beep is probably going to be memory first and foremost. Reseat the RAM. I was please reset Mr. Moss. Yeah, maybe.
What?
This is off at the back, just for clarity. It's ticking away.
What?
I hate this power supply so much.
I don't understand.
Yeah, something's not right there, yeah. Is it that? Okay, that's off. That's spinning down. Yeah. Hang on a minute.
What?
Very tempted to grab a different power supply just so we don't have to deal with this nonsense. Right.
What?
We still have the standby rail. I hate this power supply so much. The standby rail stays up for like 30 seconds. All right, it's dead. Let's try that again. That is definitely in.
I'm going to put this in the fridge.
That is a good idea.
I'm going to.
Huh? Right. Let's go to Facecam while I diagnose this. Right, okay, let's try that again. Right, reseated RAM. Power switch. Okay, that's a power cycle. That's a post. Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
we're fine.
Hacking hacked, mate.
No.
Big time.
Oh. We had a single post beep. Is that a VGA error?
It shouldn't be, because it was working fine.
Yeah. Let's reset the BIOS, just in case. So, yeah, we'll do a BIOS reset, and if it doesn't go this time... Crushed die? I can't see a world where we've crushed the core. The cooler isn't low enough for that, is it?
Yeah.
Because we've taken off thickness.
In theory, it shouldn't even be able to make contact.
Yeah, like because the CPU is shorter than it was, so theoretically we should have less contact pressure. We're just applying
Which might be the issue.
Oh, what, that it's not being pressed into the socket hard enough?
Yeah.
That's more likely at the moment, is that we don't have enough mounting pressure. So, yeah. Alright, let's...
I realise that's not clear CMOS, that's BIOS flashback.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to pop the back? Did you pull the battery? I didn't spot you do that. Yeah.
Ta-da!
Very well.
I pressed it and I realised it was just like flashing for BIOS flashback, and I was like, oh yes, it says BIOS flashback on the silk screen.
That's the giveaway, yeah.
I went to open the back door, opened it, stepped out slightly and went, oh, it's hotter outside.
That's why the doors are closed. Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah. However, I tell you what, while I'm going to change the fan so it's actually blowing at us instead of just the room.
It was just that moment where I was just like, oh, I see.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame because I wanted all the doors and windows open, but that just blows hot air in.
Yeah. Everything starts vibrating as it prepares for takeoff.
Right, is that helping? I mean, it's blowing warm air at us, but that is an improvement, yes. All right.
Where are the lights?
All over the board. There's one at the bottom of the DRAM slots. Then it moves up here. Then it moves across to VGA. And then if you get to VGA, it's probably going to
that's the CPU LED. That must be the memory LED over there then.
Okay, yeah. Right, we're probably going to get a couple of power cycles because of a CMOS reset. Although that looks like it's very confidently switched off.
Okay.
Okay. Give it another...
I was just making sure that pushing on the board wasn't turning it on again.
Yeah, alright. Try it again.
Right. VGA light, post sound. Some light down there. Boot device LED. Fine. That shouldn't matter anyway.
I don't get it. We get an all clear post beep and then we get that. I'm sure I've seen this before where you get an all clear post beep and then you get an error beep. I vote we stick in a graphics card.
What?
I think it's posting.
What are you doing, you strange machine?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Ha.
Alright. Wait for the Antec to die.
Why won't you die?
Because behind this old brand, Mr. Creedy, is an idea, and ideas are bulletproof. Are Antec still going?
All right, I'll give you a solid 8 out of 10 for that one. With some minor editing, V for Vendetta could be a solid 9.9.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, am I going to start a conversation about V for Vendetta? Because I want to like it, but it just has some critical failures.
I think it's a solid 7.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, like apart from one or two grievous critical errors with how the story is told, overall I think it's a cracking film. You know.
Yeah. I think the bit with Evie.
See, all clear post beep. What does that mean? Oh, there we go. We've got video output.
Ah, CPU fan error.
Oh. Okay, so but we've got no onboard video. So
we should have onboard video. However,
we should.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, fine.
I'll take a post right now, to be honest. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, is this off? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we'll see if it boots. Oh
yeah, CPU temp's fine.
Oh yeah, 31. All right.
I can't re-enable that because there isn't a profile for this RAM. I just remember.
Oh yes, I remember now. I thought we had
no,
XMP last time.
No, we didn't. If we're gonna try and use XMP on that, I need to sit down and actually manually bash in the timings.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, it'll be the fan hour.
Oh yeah. Should we put a fan on it? You know, as a treat.
Yeah, I was just seeing if it would post, but it literally won't post without a fan on it. Thanks, Asus.
You can disable that in the config, but yeah. I've never been able to decide if I approve of that or not, because part of me is just like, it's good that it fails safe, but also it's an enthusiast board. You know, there's no need to baby the user that much, or if the user needs babying that much, it's their own fault. But then something victim blaming. Has it just died? Because
I hate this power supply.
It got upset when you were pressing on things in certain areas before, and I've seen boards do this.
Die! But yes, the graphic novel as well for V for Vendetta. Very, very good.
Does the graphic novel give the story in the same way? Because obviously one of the key issues
it's what the film is based on.
Yes, obviously. But
as opposed to being a graphic novel of the film.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, obviously, like one of the key failings is, for just so you know what's going on here. Okay. Oh, of course it died when I moved. No, it's still there. There we go. You can short the 5-volt standby with a paperclip to discharge it. Yeah, where's a good place to do that? Just out of interest, do you do that off of like the ATX connector or something?
Right.
It feels a bit of a sledgehammer approach to do that, and I don't like it. But this power supply can be so egregious about it that
I feel like what you need to do is modify the 24 pin to put a discharge resistor across the 5-volt.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea, actually. Yeah. Okay, we're booting.
Black screen.
Yeah. That'd be kind of interesting.
Oh!
Oh, yeah. HD series graphics card.
I just kind of went...
Yeah, when AMD are just like, what is overdrive, lol? Or overscan, rather.
But also just a case of this card is so old.
Yeah.
The default Windows driver probably doesn't actually technically know
I don't even think it's an EFI card.
Yeah.
Not that we care, but...
Yeah. I have the legacy drivers for it.
Yeah.
On here. So if we're ever actually doing anything, I can just install the legacy drivers.
Part of me is just like, to be honest, we should just use the 1060, just because the 1060 is a modern, reliable test card that doesn't have weird oddities to it. You can make it an EFI card. Yeah, or I could just use a 1060. I mean,
yeah,
the 1060...
but making it one kind of sounds fun.
Yeah, I guess. But, yeah, see, before we had that, I was going to say, wouldn't it be interesting to get get a power supply and modify it to be specifically a testing power supply. So like it's got bleed resistors on the rails so it cuts out super quick, and like maybe you could modify it so it has a built-in power switch on it or something like that. And you know, what other mods could you do to a power supply to make it suitable for angry bench testing kind of thing, when you're kind of being abusive because you're doing dumb stuff like this, you know? That's giving me ideas. And yeah, I guess again you could get a but then again we could get an old 1650 that doesn't need PCIe power and would be better. So just there's some interesting things there. Hello Pianov, welcome back.
I like the idea of modifying it just because there are like 8 of them.
Oh yes.
And who cares?
I guess yeah, we could do.
I mean, if one of them ends up becoming a ineffectual paperweight,
that will be no worse than it is right now, quite frankly. I think people have made
Radeon Crimson.
Yeah, I was going to say I think people have made graphics cards with Minecraft Redstone with about the same amount of compute power. You can flash back to the original Earth. We certainly could, yeah.
Yes. Everything.
Yeah, there might be some mileage in that then, actually, just because, like, we do like this as a test graphics card. The only problem with it is that it is not EFI. So, actually, sticking a UEFI BIOS on it isn't an awful idea. That does make it more desirable as a testing card. Especially because, like, we've taken off the PCI bracket and everything on that, and I don't really want to take the PCI bracket off of the 1060. Because the 1060, I use that when I'm testing gaming rigs, you know. So I kind of want it to fit into an ATX computer.
Yeah.
So actually, the more I think about it, the more this is not a terrible idea. So yes, stick in the 4080, no more issues. Yeah, of a sort. I put that I put that 4080 in my PC last night, Night Fusion, and for the first time, I was like, maybe having a fractal torrent isn't such a terrible idea, because suddenly my fractal torrent didn't seem enormous anymore, and I was like, this should be illegal, you know. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I need to design a support bracket for it. However, I'm just like, holy crap, this is a graphics card that actually fills the fractal torrent. I had to flip my water cooling rad because it wouldn't clear the hoses, you know. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, but my god, that thing is quiet though, I'll give it that much. The cooler on it is so enormous and so overkill that it was just silent. Granted, I haven't actually given it the beans yet. I was just running VR chat, which is so poorly optimized that it couldn't utilize it. In a way, it was disappointing because VR chat, I was still stuck down in 45 FPS hell in a heavy instance. But it was kind of funny because the graphics card was sitting at 85 watts in a heavy VR chat instance, whereas my 3080 would have been screaming. So, you know, I hadn't looked at what the actual percentage load was, but like the thermal load was negligible. So that sort of that denotes that there is interesting observations to be made there.
AMD mobility.
Mobility. Oh god, is this a laptop GPU on a well, whatever? I don't care. It has one in the box. Oh, does it? Oh, I'll have a closer look in the box. I didn't spot one, but maybe I didn't dig far enough. Cool. Right. All right. How are we looking? What do our temps look like? Also, have you got the file, the text file with the previous temperatures on it?
Yes, although they will be somewhat irrelevant. It's 10 degrees hotter in here.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that much being said, though, if we
although apparently we're at 60C and not 80.
I was about to say, though, if we're substantially lower in a 10-degree hotter room, then that's starting.
I am quite warm.
That's starting to speak words. I mean, you rocked up in a shirt and jeans when you walked through the door. I didn't say anything, but I was like, "Shirt and jeans? Are you sure?"
I mean, the memory's slow as balls and all of that, so it could be that, but still, it didn't.
Well, again, this is the same config that we were running last week.
It's not immediately fallen over, so that's something. How many watts is this? I'm presuming like 7. Where is the power?
At the top.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're only doing 55 watts, not 110 like we were.
Oh.
Which is what I was saying.
Oh, we reset the BIOS. We had a dirty. Yeah, we'd locked off the clocks. Yeah. Okay.
The clocks were basically the same, which is fine. The boosting was there, but it was obviously just a case of the actual effective clocks were.
Okay, so magic moment then. Can you remember vaguely what you dialed in last week? Doesn't need to be exact, but...
No, because I'll have to sit and mess around with the RAM timings. Because it was the RAM that was the problem.
Oh, yeah, you had dialed in some RAM settings.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Well...
That's unfortunate.
Do you want to try... What's our plan, then? Are we going to try and bash in some settings?
Yeah, I can do. If obviously, we start talking about something else. Because it'll take a while.
Yeah, that's fine.
It'll take a few minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine.
Well, we can bring up some topics and chat then, because we see, basically we've got this seems to be viable. It's functioning, absolutely. Which is to an extent further than we thought we would get. I'm almost tempted to say, oh yeah, no, you need to dial in settings on it. Okay, well let's keep going. Like yeah. Basically, what I was going to say is, part of me is interested to just keep it under load, so then later on we can take the cooler off and just see if there's been any deformation.
Yeah, the problem is we can't get load.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'll look at what Cinebench does, because Cinebench doesn't care about RAM.
Yeah.
It should, in theory, mostly sit in the L3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's bash it over there with Cinebench then.
Whilst it's a dramatically lower load, where we're so memory restricted.
Everyone says, I was watching some of the old videos. You missed the old intro. Yeah. I did like the old intros, but I wanted a change. So yeah. The important thing about the new intro is modern YouTube favours short intros. Long intros are just not a thing on modern YouTube. And also I wanted I also wanted to keep the intro short because at some point there will be sponsors, and I want a short intro so there is, because allowing for dropping in a sponsor slot, it means that there is less intro time basically. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that the intro was literally 5 to 10 seconds, because that's just the modern meta. Should just save the BIOS settings to a USB pen. Yeah, we probably... yeah, doesn't matter now. At some point in 10 years. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. So, what did Cinebench do anything interesting? No? Okay. Right, Carol's going to sit and he's going to start punching in numbers. Starfield and 7800, 7700 XT chat time. Yeah. Starfield, I still don't care. However, if anyone else does, then bring up a topic.
I'm reasonably interested in it. It looks.
Have you looked at it yet?
Not in the sense of actually playing it, but yeah. I've seen, the content that is out there about it, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that looks reasonably interesting.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It seems like they've made the combat much more modern.
Okay.
Just because obviously the gunplay looks reasonably good.
Yeah. I'm to that extent. Have you seen the preview of the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 stuff?
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, because that looks very heavily sort of gunfire and and gunplay focused. Which, yeah, like I'm starting to give Cyberpunk the old side eyes. Like sort of, maybe I think it might be time to put that on the playlist. You know, they seem, you know, that seems to be ironed out and ready to go. And I was vaguely interested in it when it was on the horizons. It just had such a poor launch that that just killed my interest in the game. So
my comment on that is still, it had a poor launch on people who had potato computers. No one had a problem with like 3000 or 5000 series Ryzen, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th gen Intel.
Yeah, maybe
2000, 3000 series Nvidia kind of thing. There were certainly some bugs, but it was a case of like, not many. What was this? Was this 16,000-ish?
Yeah.
Oh, it's bloody Kingston, so...
It was 1866.
Oh, interesting. So 1800 in theory should work.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to move our faces just so you guys can see a bit more what Caradog is doing, in case people care about that. Oh, God, this is not scaling properly.
No.
Anyway. Right. New AMD graphics cards seem to be... My interpretation of the 7700 and 7800 XT is when we're comparing them with the modern current gen cards, they seem to be winners. They seem to be performing solidly well because their competition is garbage. The 4060 Ti and the 4070 are thorough meh cards. And the 7700 XT and 7800 the 7700 XT
and the 7800 XT
and the 7800 XT, they seem to be performing very well versus their competitors for the money. However, they seem to be fundamentally within a stone's throw of the previous generation cards. So while the 6000 series cards are still on sale, they are just better bang for buck, and there's just no point in buying a 7000 series. However, at some point, the 6000 series cards will just not be available anymore. The stock for them will dry out, and then the 77 and 7800 XT will start making sense. That was my takeaway from the reviews.
It certainly seems like the 7800, compared to the 6800 and 6800 XT, is the price to performance is 1-to-1 effectively.
Yeah.
So,
and it's also worth noting.
It's not a problem to buy either one. If that makes sense. You're not making a bad decision either way.
Yeah, and like I saw, FYI, the CPU will probably ignore the 1866 settings. 1600 is the max listed.
What?
Not sure that I mean, it runs at what we tell it to. If the BIOS will let us dial in that. Are we getting... what did you go to?
That's 1898, 1900, which is 1800, isn't it?
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. Yep, we're getting that.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
We're on overclocking settings, so it does whatever we tell it to. Whether or not it actually manages to be stable at that is another question, but... So, yeah. 6650 XT is 230 is decent value now. Yeah, agreed. I fitted one of those this week, and I saw what I was about to look up, and I'm just going to check if it's still there. I can't remember if it was a 6950 or a 6850. 6850 XT. It was. On Amazon right now, there's a 6950 XT at 630 quid. Brand new. And I'm like, that is a lot of graphics card for the money. In my opinion, brand new. 6950 XT for 630, brand new.
Oh, there we go.
Just like, you know, how much do you want, people? If you're looking for a high-end graphics card, that's kind of it. Ooh, that looks nice. We're getting 130 watts load.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Are you on max fan?
Probably not.
Yeah. Were we on max fan last time? I can't remember.
No, neither can I.
Yeah. Yeah, last week we kind of didn't do a lot of we didn't nail down a lot of stuff because we just weren't really getting we weren't getting good enough results to warrant controlling the tests.
Well, it's
further.
also just a case of basically we're just making sure if it worked.
Yeah, well, we were kind of dicking around last week, but we weren't making any massive inroads, so it wasn't worth it. Whereas at the moment, it's like, yeah, we might have something. And again, just for posterity, what were our results last time? Oh, here we go. 90 watts. Yeah, that doesn't look like our strongest run. Was that the last run we did? Because that's like 90 watts. We got past that.
Yeah, although I think we're doing better now. Yeah, I think we're doing slightly better now.
130 watts is much more than prior, and ATC is good. Yeah, I can't remember. I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, because we hit 130 watt this time.
Yeah, I don't remember us getting as high as 130. I'm sure we got 120,
we
125.
got 116.
Okay, yeah.
It was 116 with a CPU package max of 82, core max of 83.
Yeah.
This is core max 82. Where's the package? Sorry, package of 82, core of 82, power of 130. So with 15-ish more watts, we're basically the same temperature.
And we're on the crap thermal paste as well, aren't we? Yeah. Well, because last week you put...
No.
Yeah, because
I couldn't remember what I'd done to the bottom of that, but I did clean it off.
The final test last week, you put was it Kingpin or no? You put Thermal Grizzly. Yeah. Linda, last week you put Cryonaut on it, and that dropped us by like another 5 or 10 degrees or something. I think it was.
Yeah.
We got a substantial drop out of it. I remember that much. So now we're beating that substantial drop with the crap paste. Like there's another 5 or 10 degrees in that by going to good thermal paste.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're actually making inroads then, aren't we?
And it not being 26C in there.
Yeah, exactly. So when you actually factor in the variables that have changed, we actually have something that is we've actually made a serious improvement.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Interesting. This board just won't restart. It will just shut down.
Yeah, I don't think it's 100% happy. Like also by the fact that the onboard graphics isn't working, or wasn't working. So yeah, I wouldn't say that this is well. Again, this wasn't intended as a daily driver anyway. No. But yeah, I think we're running in a problematic environment. But you know, we're into a point now where we could actually start chasing numbers. And the 6950 XT, as good if not better than the much more expensive 3080 Ti. Yeah, I would say so.
No, it's about the same performance as a 3080 10 gig.
Really?
Yeah, it's about the same performance as a 3080 10 gig.
Oh, I thought it was matching the 38. I thought it was.
And if you're being generous, it's a 3080 12 gig.
Oh, okay. I thought it was pushing that because you were running a 6950 XT, weren't you?
No, I never bought one.
Oh.
No, I had a 3070.
Yeah.
Whilst I was waiting for a 3090.
Oh yeah,
stock,
yeah.
I got a 3090.
Yeah, you were running the 3090, and you had eyes to buy a fancy special edition 6950 XT if it came available, but it just never was it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, fair enough then. Okay.
And then I got a 7900 XTX.
Fair enough. Yeah. Da-da. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. AMD's 6000 series software has improved in leaps and bounds during the lifetime of the cards. Yeah, this is why retesting is really important, because I was looking up the 6650 XT versus a 1080 earlier on today. I
would expect it to be about 90% faster.
The tests I was seeing were variable. It depended on the game, and it was anywhere from it was like anywhere from sort of 40. It was anywhere from 50% to 90% faster variable, but that was at time of release. and we know that AMD's drivers have improved. So theoretically, you can expect more than that now. Because basically, I upgraded someone from a 1080 Ti to a 6650 XT, and I suddenly had cold feet where I was like, hold on a moment, am I actually giving them a meaningful upgrade? And the answer was yes. Yes, I am. So, yeah. 6950 XT and 6900, what's the difference? Just clock speeds. The 50 cards, they were clocked a bit higher and they were binned slightly higher, weren't they? They're just better refined.
Yeah, they are functionally just a binning.
Yeah, so it was a case of...
It's a clock speed, and I think the power target's a smidgen higher.
Yeah, so it seems to be that it's the same card, but it's going to... It's a best of, so you're going to get better binning, which means you get better boost clocks more consistently, which means better real-world performance. So you could class it as the same class of card, however... you're getting that it's top 1% of that class kind of thing. So,
interesting.
Right, what are you working on at the moment? Are you still pushing memory up?
I just pushed the memory to 1866 from 1800.
Yeah.
And we gained 3 watt spikes on the CPU.
Okay, yeah.
Which is just interesting side note.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still massively memory restricted as kind of expected because DDR3.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the temperatures are 80s at 130-ish watts, 127 to 133 watts.
Yeah.
So we certainly seem to be getting better temperatures.
Yeah. All factors taken into account. Good.
Yeah. Yes, we're getting better temperatures by virtue of the fact that we're pushing more power and seemingly getting the same temperature.
Yeah. And in an environment that's about 10 degrees hotter than it was last week. Cool. Very good. All right. Cool. Okay.
So assuming this single run doesn't error, I was going to loop it for like 10.
Okay.
And then take off and then see what the frame looks like.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Because I was good. Yeah, I was about to say because so far what?
Yeah, and we got a smidgen more flops. Yeah.
Nice.
So we are definitely pushing ever so slightly harder now.
Yeah. All right. So this is a success then. So we're going to give it a bit of a burn in and just make sure it doesn't fall dead. And then what next? Do we just? I guess we just take it apart and inspect and see what it looks like and just see if we can melt
this will take 770 seconds, which is 10, 11, 12. It's basically 12 minutes.
Divided by 60. 13 minutes, rounding 13. Up.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Did you take some actual scores, like Cinebench with the old setup? Not really. We were kind of just eyeballing temperatures and power figures.
Yeah. We're basically just looking to see if the CPU still worked after being delidded.
Pretty much.
Because we're not overly fussed about scores and so on at this point. We just wanted to see if delidding worked and so on.
It was proof of concept.
Yeah, because the actual one we'll care about doing is the 4790K, which we haven't touched and is somewhere possibly in there.
I think it's in there. I might just. Oh yeah, that's got a stock cooler. I'm going to quickly take that off and just see if it's got the 4790K in it, just so we actually know.
Yeah, and it's a case of we'll run actual numbers on that one.
Yeah. So what we're doing today is mostly just proof of concept. And last week we successfully proved that we were capable of delidding a CPU. But because we weren't actually seeing any meaningful improvement, we weren't really inspired to push further.
It was also just a case of obviously the time to explain the delidding and show it off and so on.
Yeah, it took longer, but then that's how we roll, isn't it? It takes us forever to do anything. However, like by comparison, though, this is very exciting because while again this is all proof of concept, but what we're seeing is a distinct improvement over everything that we did last week.
Yeah.
So, like last week, what we were getting is just the same. The only thing we'd really achieved is deleting the CPU without killing it, which is itself a case of cool. So we can delete CPUs now, but we hadn't proven that was doing anything.
Yeah.
Whereas now we're going direct. Now we have successful direct die cooling. We're going, look, we've delidded it, gone direct die, and now we have reduced temperatures.
Yeah.
Whereas every time we've used the freezer, we've tended to end up limited by contact, haven't we?
Certainly seem to.
Well, or at the least that's been one of the limiting factors.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Right, what do you have in you?
What are this?
I put the smallest Intel stock blower on it, so, you know, that obviously counts for a lot. Could you pass me the dirty tissue? Thank you.
Oh, yes. It's a great name.
My God, I can't get it at the right light. Yes, this has the 4790K in it.
Cool.
So it exists. I've not thrown it in a bin or a box.
Fabulous. You haven't sold it.
No. I may as well put that on for the time being.
You didn't upgrade someone's Venuscope PC.
Sorry.
Whilst we're sitting and waiting for this, should we swap the battery in my laptop?
We could. All right. Right. Let's see. I'll put this to one side. If I do a little bit of tidying up my end, we can probably shuffle. Do we want to keep this on hand? Or?
Okay.
Yeah. Keep that to one side. I'll just put the box to one side.
Thermal paste. Thermal paste everywhere.
If it's in the same room, it gets everywhere, isn't it? You know. 4790S were soldered Tims. What about the 4790K though? Yeah.
Tap. Oh dear.
Yeah, 4790K is still paced under the IHS. Yes.
Is that GD?
Okay. Put that there. Put that there.
Obnoxiously hot is it now? Oh, it's cooled down by 1 degree. Good heavens.
Right. Right, let's see.
The other thing we'll want to do is wipe the bench off, just because there is a lot of grit and PLA dust. And I'd rather not scratch up the aluminium. Aluminium!
Condensation.
Compensation.
I was just waiting to hear the tick of the power supply having a hissy fit of me moving the motherboard around then. Okay. Very good. Have I got another?
Have you got another?
I'll put that down there. Right. Do you want to do this?
It's been in weeks.
Shush.
Months even.
Shush. Right. Do you want to do this or do you want me to do it? Okay.
No. I am doing it.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
I have already turned it off.
Right. I'm going to move the camera across.
Oh! Look at the size of your flies.
Oh, right. I was like, are you haunted? Right.
That is not how I initially processed that.
Boop, 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 boop.
Which one do I want?
Boop. Hello.
I want...
And I shall make us smaller.
Do I want any of these?
Hello.
Do I want a T3?
You want a P5?
Well, I don't have a P5.
You should have a P5.
I've got a P2. I've got a Cross. I've got a Plus. I've got a T5. Got a TR10.
Oh. Oh, in that case...
T3, P5.
Ah.
Why was the P5 with the T's? What is organisation?
Well, it's like a T, but less.
What is organisation?
Blame Trev. He was the last one to use that kit.
Damn it, Trev! Do
right.
I need to remember where these go, or are they captive?
They're not captive.
Effort.
However, I'm fairly certain. I think they're all the same. Failing that, I'll know where they go. So don't worry about it. It's the short answer there. As a special treat, I'll give you a screw. A screw? I'll give you a magnet to attach things to. Good job this isn't a podcast. Squeeze the bag.
What? We'll squeeze what?
Squeeze the bag later. Pass me the dirty tissue and look at the size of your flies. It's concerning.
Quality content.
Cool. Right, so yeah, we're going to take this cover off. For those of you who don't know, this is a MacBook Pro Retina 15-inch, and the battery swap on these is not easy, but not the hardest.
Oh, I thought it was going to be quite easy because it's like 15 years old.
No. It's glued in. It's not going to go without a fight. You will...
Damn.
You're going to realise how hot this room is by the time you're done. So, yeah.
Oh, the screws are seemingly all the same.
Yes, on some of them, these top ones are slightly shorter, but on some of them, they're not. I tend to forget, and yeah.
Now, do I have to get my credit card out and just kind of...
Credit card would be valid. I've got an official credit card scraper, so yeah. Right, you want to pull up from the back like that.
Huh.
There you go. Right.
Oh, look at the level of dust. It's like it's brand new.
I was going to say, this thing is clean. Have you cleaned this thing inside? Nope. This laptop is a mystery wrapped in an enigma. And by a mystery wrapped in an enigma, I mean it's literally had one little old lady who drove it on Tuesdays.
Yes.
So it's just never been used. So yeah, it's pristine. It's yeah.
Oh, I see. Indeed.
What were you?
I was just like, it's
Yeah.
I was about to say socketed. That's not quite the right word.
Yes.
It is replaceable.
It is, yes. Yeah, the SSDs in these are replaceable all the way up to and including 2015 models. So yeah, this is a 2012. This was the first of the NVMe SSDs. So that is NVMe, but it's not M.2.
Is that supposed to kind of just come apart?
No, you need to go lower down to get to the actual plastic part of the connector. I'd say use your fingernails, but no one has fingernails because they're all stupid and bite them off.
I don't bite them.
Oh, you just cut them short then?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Battery has been disconnected. So, yes.
Is that it?
New EU law is well overdue. Oh, yeah, replaceable battery. Is that happening? I'd heard rumours about replaceable batteries again. Yeah, I'd heard rumours.
I don't know how I feel.
Why would you, I mean, okay, let's go...
It depends on the definition of what they mean by replaceable batteries.
Yeah.
Because if they mean replaceable batteries like this is a replaceable battery,
yeah,
then I'm all on board with it. If they mean replaceable battery as in I have some door on the side and I pull the battery out and slide another one in, then no, I'm not on board with that because I don't want to lose 25% of the capacity of my battery.
Yeah.
If it means replaceable in this, I pull out some nice standard easy screws, I lift off a simple cover, I flick a switch, and I pull it out.
MacBook Air. The MacBook Air did it right. The MacBook Air's battery is...
official credit cards.
Ah, yes. We could even use those.
Look, screws.
Before we go further, I'm just going to grab a MacBook Air, an A1466, just to show you the equivalent of how I think it should be.
Ah, I see.
So if we're talking about user replaceable batteries, then this MacBook Air is what... could you hold on to that for a sec, please? Thank you. This is what Caradog wants. Sorry for the flashbang, everyone. It's very difficult. I could put it on auto exposure, but auto exposure has a mind of its own. And by the flashbang, I mean the flashbang from the back of the laptop, not the flashbang from my white arms.
They are quite white.
I am a pasty boy, Caradog. A pasty boy. I have the white skin and I don't like spices.
Mayonnaise is spicy.
Yep. All right.
Oh.
So same deal, but it's got a plastic frame around it. So you've just got 4-5 screws, and then that lifts out as a single unit. So it's not glued in; it just lifts away.
Oh God, there's even space in this for the plastic frame.
Yeah. So that's my point. This was the best. This was Apple at their best, in my opinion, because they have, within reason, maximized the size of this battery. Bearing in mind that I think that's where the BMS is in that space there. So they have, within reason, maximized the size of this battery while still making it.
Oh, it's only 54 watt hour.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
thin.
Surprising.
Yeah.
I just assumed it was going to be like 90.
No, not at that size. Yeah.
Just because it's this big.
Yeah.
But obviously it's also
thin.
this thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't considered that.
Yeah. Something manila envelopes, but at any rate, though, this is entirely reasonable, and this is just, you take out the 10 screws off the back, you take out 5 screws from the battery, and it lifts out, no glue.
Yeah.
That is user replaceable.
Yeah,
in my
this
opinion.
is what I'm referring to. I don't want us to suddenly use 20% capacity because we now have to make each battery effectively 20% smaller so it can slide in and out and have some spring release and stuff.
Yeah, an actual spring release mechanism and stuff, it does take up space. It would be interesting to see, like, on phones, they pretty well minimize the size of a battery, but even still,
We did gain slightly from losing the ability to swap them. But I understand both sides on that, because obviously if you supplied 2 batteries with the phone, I've now got twice the runtime, so 20% capacity loss on each one is neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a case of I see the argument on both sides, but having a second battery is now an extra £40 or £30.
Yeah.
But it's only £30 for those who want a second battery.
Yeah. And like back in the day when I was running a PowerBook G4, I had a second battery for it.
Yeah.
Especially, and there were times where I needed long battery run times, and by long I mean 4 hours, because batteries in those days just didn't last. And I did hot swap batteries, very rarely, but I did do it. I had the capability of doing it. So yeah. Right.
Oh, is that a case sensor?
No. That is...
Okay.
Oh, we've gone to sleep here. Where's the thing? There. That is a pogo pin for grounding.
Oh, okay.
So those just stick up and they just make sure that the back panel is grounded to the motherboard, or vice versa.
Oh, I see.
So yeah. Cool, right. Is that a 2 power bat? Where is your battery from?
It is from Duracell.
Yeah,
so it's a PSA.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because that's what Moeto said.
Yeah. I need to start.
So I bought what he told me to.
Yeah. How much did you pay for it?
£70?
That's about right, yeah, to be honest.
So I was like, that's kind of a lot. But
well,
also,
that's what I'd expect to pay.
But also it's a case of, it's like, Moeto said buy this one, so I did.
Yes, he kind of knows what he's talking about. Yeah, because I still try to buy my batteries from Amazon, but I've been finding the options have been just lacking and uninspiring as of late.
Yeah.
So I'm beginning to think that I'm going to join the 2 power club.
Is that included in that price was DHL next day delivery, which was actually next day.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
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 And it was next day by like 12 for us.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I was just like, yeah.
Yeah. Without any kind of tech expertise, kind of scary. Hope screws are okay. Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about user replaceable, we have to be reasonable with what user replaceable is defined as. I think if a user isn't willing to take out a couple of screws, then they're going to have to pay an idiot tax, quite frankly. I don't think taking out a few screws is unreasonable. What are you searching for?
One of these.
Oh, yes. My official scrapers. Yep. Okay, right. So, there are a couple of options moving forward. I am fairly heavy-handed with these, and thus far have not had any problems being heavy-handed. There are some who may disagree. But yeah, I've not yet had any disasters. But firstly, what I do, I tend to remove the speakers because that gives more room around the battery. And when we start doing the scraping, you'll appreciate it.
What do I require?
Those are T5s. Yep, so we're on to T5 now.
Are you a T5? No, you're a T3. You're a P2. You're a T6. No, you're a T5. There you go.
There we go. Proprietary screws. Yeah, it's only the back cover screws that are proprietary, and every battery that you buy will come with the screwdriver for it. So it's kind of a non-issue.
Yeah, I didn't realise. Where's the... There you go.
Oh yeah. So the actual kit comes with screwdrivers, comes with a couple of tools, and it came also with a couple of other bits and pieces. It's quite common to see these kind of replacement kits with the batteries these days, where you get a credit card for scraping, and some gloves and stuff like that. Bit overkill in my opinion, but it's kind of nice that it's there.
Yeah.
So yeah. To be fair, I've met people that can destroy the laptop by taking out screws. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Is it 2? Yeah, it's 2 per side.
Again, no, it's it is a sliding scale of making it idiot-proof and being reasonable. Because the more idiot-proof you make it, the less capacity you're going to get, because they have to. Idiot-proofing takes up space.
Yeah, because it's kind of a case of, for me, to a degree, I don't see what the problem with having effectively this and then just kind of going, ta-da, is if you want easily user replaceable kind of thing. Is that kind of concept? It's just having a little connector like that, like these do, and you just undo that and pull it out. The problem with this is the glue.
Yeah.
Do I need to undo anything here? Or is it just to pull it backwards?
Right. So you've taken out the 2 screws, and that will now just pry out. The connector. Yeah, that will pull directly upwards. Yeah, I usually do it by the cable because I'm a scrub. I'm gonna see if.
Oh yeah.
All right. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Whoops. Bench cam again.
Where's this one go? Oh, there.
Sorry for the motion sickness, everyone. I'm moving to there, and then I'm going to come in at an angle. Because that gives us more lean over space.
When you say pry up, do you mean pry or just lift? Oh no, it is just lift, isn't it? Is this not behind the logic board?
Yeah. I think that one might... Oh, on the 15-inch it is. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking about the 13-inch. Oh, they both are... Oh, yeah, no, okay, sorry. I lied. It's been a while since I've done a 15-inch.
It's very much behind the logic board.
The 13-inch ones come out. The 15-inch ones are under the logic board. So, okay. I lied.
So I need to put this in. Do these just push from the top again?
That's right, yeah.
Whoop.
Fine. Okay, right. In that case, we're going without. Right. Okay. So we're going to start scraping. However, before we start scraping, we bring in the alcohol because that weakens the glue and it makes things easier, and it means that it doesn't stick down after you and stuff like that. So what I tend to do is I tend to go wah, and I just go down these sides and I literally just drown like that. And it's fine. Oh, I nearly leant on that then.
It's fine. Burp.
And I periodically spray some of the alcohol onto the scraper blade. So the scraper blade itself has alcohol on it. And yeah, basically you have to just try and get down there. With the plastic one, no, I don't think you're going to be able to. Sometimes to get a start, I use a metal prying tool to get it started. Once you have...
I'm concerned about breaking the speaker.
Yeah. Once you have an inroad...
Oh, yeah.
Are you getting there?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I was going to say...
I have approximately your prying tool.
Plastic prying tools are expendable. There you go. That's it. Just ease it under there. And now just kind of dig around to scrape underneath and just ease that up until that cell... That's it. There you go. That one's free.
There you go. And that's not getting...
Now we just need to do that another 5 times.
Okay.
So I would go in, I would lift that one up and dig in under like that with the prying tool. That's it. And just try and ease in under, and again stick more alcohol on the plastic on the tool as well. if you put alcohol onto the scraper, that will make it easier.
This requires way less force than I was expecting.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Way less.
Yeah. Yeah. As I say, the alcohol lubricates the scraper and makes it move easier.
Because, yeah, this is not bastorial levels of blowing that I was expecting.
The inside two are harder. This is where it gets more difficult.
But, like, I expected that to be who and why.
Yeah. So, I would do the other side first. So, you've got the...
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I would do the left side now.
Oh, you can come under that bit. I thought that was hard plastic.
No, you can get under there, yeah. So, yeah. So then when you've got both sides, now you can attack this from all angles. And once again, alcohol onto the blade.
Oh.
Yeah, it will make it easier.
Rebel.
Yeah. And yeah, this bit is the hardest, where you just got to ease it under. Yeah, that's it. Because when you dig down with the scraper can hit the bottom and bend in slightly to get under the cell, and that's what you're trying to achieve.
Oh, there's a little lip.
Is the heat helping to soften the glue? It might be a little bit, because yeah, it is valid to use a little bit of heat, like a hairdryer, just to take the chill off of the system. I usually find that's not necessary, but if it's in the dead of winter and I'm sitting here shivering in the cold, then yeah, putting some heat into the laptop because it's metal can help you out a bit.
Is here.
So
is it just wires here?
Yeah, under.
So I can bend it like that, and I'm not breaking anything.
You can, but I wouldn't. Basically.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
because basically they're metal. They're metal.
Oh,
they're
I see.
flat. They're flat tabs of metal.
So
like they're flat bus bars. So
this?
they can bend, but I try not to because I'm terrified of them ripping and shorting. Don't know if that's a real thing or not. That's just something I live in fear of.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never had a problem with it, but obviously when you do actually have a problem, it'll be bad. Right, now, so what you've got here is at the bottom you've got the trackpad, then above that is a metal plate, and then you've got the battery.
Oh, yeah.
You need to get between the battery and the metal plate. Yeah. If you get between the metal plate and the trackpad, you're doing it wrong. And
what?
So you got trackpad.
Oh, there is a metal plate.
Metal plate.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. Yep.
I missed one of the steps there, and I was like, "Hold on! I thought you just said I wanted to get under the metal plate."
Yep. And now before we go, I would just hold that there for a sec, because now at this point, I would peel this back, and we've got a screw there and a screw there. Yeah. So because when this lifts up, it'll want to take this with it. So now's the time when you want this to come out, just so the whole thing can come away when you get there. This is all very... When you're doing this, it's all a bit hot and a bit hair-raising, and it's just like, oh, this is coming out now. We are going, you know. So you kind of want to be... When it happens fast, you know. So yes. And I would possibly respray the scraper as well at this point. Just keep that moist. Because it also means all the alcohol on the scraper is, again, just attacking the adhesive as you go in. That's it. That's one. So I would spin around and go in from the other side.
I was just lifting the entire cell.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were under.
Only got to there.
Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah.
I was not going to try and go all the way across.
Fine. Yep. When you're holding the scraper, you have a much better idea on how deep in you are. Go under the other two cells, it'll be easier.
But I thought I needed to get in the lip.
If you lift these guys up, you can come in at a shallower angle.
Can you? How? I don't see how. Because the lip is right, the edge of the cell is here and the lip is here.
Yes, but I mean, because you were coming in at like that angle then.
Yeah, because the lip is above the edge of the cell. So you have to come in vertically and do that. Because if I come in this way, I'm only bashing against the metal lip.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll let...
Or am I misunderstanding what's going on here?
Let me have a quick look, just so I can... Because I might just be micromanaging you.
Is this plastic bit here, not the lip?
Yeah, so
if I come in like this, I'm not actually getting in on the cell, am I?
That angle there. That's where you want to come in.
Oh, I thought... I see. There is a little bit of black plastic on the side of the lip that I thought was the side of the cell.
I got you. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
So I was just like, but how?
This is one of those things where it's just like, you've got to jiggle the thing. You've got to jiggle it, you know? It's very difficult to explain in words what's going on. And, yeah. And, like, when I'm recording a video, I can spend 10 minutes getting the camera angle to just a point where I can show you exactly what angle I'm coming in at. Right, you are free. That will come out. You need to slide it slightly because it's... Yeah, there you go. There we go. And breathe.
Have cells.
There we go. Now, the amount of this that you remove is up to you. I'm kind of... Yeah, that's the disadvantage of using the alcohol, is it makes it go like that. And because it makes it go like that, I'm extremely lazy and I do minimal cleanup here. And certainly there are some people that would crucify me for that. In my opinion, it doesn't make a difference. You remove it all, you like it super flat. I don't think it matters. If you want to spend half an hour scraping all that off, be my guest.
Oh. Nope. Nope.
A plastic prying tool is probably not going to do it. I think that's the other reason why I don't do this. I haven't found a tool that does this well. Because, like, the problem now is, at this point, the alcohol is just making everything a soggy mess. So, I'm not sure how much that even helps at this point either. This is just, in my opinion, this is just horrid. What's your method for this, Si? What would you use for it? Angle grinder. Yeah. Pick up the end and pull away. Really? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, those are coming off. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, fair enough. They are going. I think the last time I tried to do that, I just kept getting off millimeter pieces at a time. You might, yeah. See, if you're going for a peel, it might be better off to dry the alcohol at this point. Put the shovel down. Yeah. Okay, hang on. I think it's better to go for a dry peel at this point.
I can't get the ends up.
So I'm going to do that. Right. This is why I keep my fingernails long and gross.
It has nothing to do with being lazy. It's all because it's a performance-enhancing tool.
Indeed. Okay, there we go. We're doing the peels. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dry pull. Yeah. Lighter petrol, Zippo fuel. That's what this is. This is isopropyl alcohol, which is what you actually want for this kind of thing. However, for these, a dry pull is better because it stops the stuff from coming apart. Because yeah, we are actually getting a decent peel out of this. I'm sure I've tried this before and it just didn't work out for me, which is why I don't bother. However, yeah, these are coming off. I will concede that. To an extent, anyway. I had a couple of good runs. Now this one is being awkward.
I have so many bits.
You can see why I don't bother doing this. You know. Because what we're going to do is cover it all up anyway with another battery. And the replacement battery won't come out in the laptop's lifetime. So I'm just like, who cares? Who actually cares? But...
yeah. Fine, I guess.
However, the YouTube audience who don't own the laptop are just like, no, you have to do it properly. I'm like, okay. Come on, please, I'm begging you. Okay, there we go, I've got one. Oh, yes. Oh, we're in the heat at the moment. That is also true, yeah. That might be assisting us. Maybe the last time I tried to do this, it was like 18 well, I mean, in the dead of winter, it could be like 15 degrees in this room. And that's going to be a very different situation to 30.
I'm mostly just making sure it's somewhat clean. I wasn't going to bother.
This is happening now. Although I have to admit, I'm going to do this one and then give up. I'm giving up. Ah. Whew. Adhesive sheddings. Yeah, I'm going to start picking up all of our doings that we're leaving behind here. It's all slimy.
It's horrid. It's vile.
Apple.
It's horrid. It's vile.
All right.
So I presume I just peel this off.
Yes. So remove the backing. So the backing on the batteries tends to be a thicker plastic that holds it all together. So everything's going to go a little bit floppy when you take that off. However, take it off you must. Oh, that's interesting. They've got double backing on this. Usually when you take off this bit that you're peeling, you will get there. Is there another peel to do there, or are they tacky?
No, those are all tacky.
Oh, okay. Oh, looks a bit weird, but fair enough. All right, so that goes in. Obviously, don't push. Get it lined up before you push it down. Just sit it in place. I'm just going to peel that up just so it's not trying to contact. So, right. So now what I do is I would let go and then I would pull this up and get those screws in, because this is the bit that has to be in the correct position.
How do I?
Once you've pulled, once you've got that lined up and screwed in, it doesn't particularly matter where everything else sits down, as long as it does sit down.
Right, fine.
So
those are those, and I want that.
How much was the battery? This one was about £70, which is about par for the course for a premium battery for a MacBook Pro. Some Macs have cheaper batteries, but the MacBook Pros and the Retina series were just arbitrarily expensive. No idea why. I think they are reasonably high capacity, mind you.
Get in the hole. There we go.
There we go. So now what I would do, now I would peel off the top one, so then the cells can move freely. And now you can just jiggle all of the cells so they're sitting nice and square and comfortably. And once they're sitting nice and square and comfortably, then you just give them a gentle press just to make sure that they've sat down. And I use the scraper just as a chisel in the edges, just to nudge them about, just so they're all sitting nicely. This is purely aesthetic at this point. Spend that on your LG e-bike battery. Yeah, laptop batteries are very depressing to buy, or just small scale batteries are very depressingly expensive. It's like if you just want to buy like a 1 amp hour LiPo cell, just buying those in small quantity is horrifyingly expensive.
Does this actually really matter where it is?
Not really.
So that's all.
Yeah.
Good.
As I say, I just try to make sure that it's not stressed, if you see what I mean. But because you flopped it down and then just nudged it in place, it should not be stressed.
How do I?
Right.
That seems far too long a cable.
They always do. So what I tend to do...
Do you just bend it up a bit and then...
Basically, I try to... Oh, that's a really long one, that one. Yeah, that one...
And then just kind of go in.
Yeah, I kind of...
A bit of a fold on it.
Yeah, I just blare that into position.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit gross, but it's in. There we go. And then, just for posterity, we can stick that bit across there, which just covers up some of the bus bars. None of that is super exposed, it's coated, but it's additional protection. Because obviously... like some plastic covers across electronics I don't really care about, but when it's a 60 or 70 watt hour battery, you kind of want that extra peace of mind.
The
There's a cover sticker. Oh yeah, the packet came with a new one of these if you want to put a shiny new one on.
Oh, fair enough. And then, one of those is rolled off.
Oh.
I have.
Oops, did I just break that or did it go to sleep?
I have two of the step ones.
Whack, whack, whack. That was me. I nudged the. Okay. We're not on capture anyway. I just upset this by nudging it.
I have the stepped one. I do not have the non-stepped one.
Okay. We're missing and screw. That's funny. I didn't see anything.
It was here.
Yeah.
So I'm presuming it's now on the floor.
Got it. Put that there.
Sweet. Thanks.
Okay.
Click, 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 click. Reboot, click.
It was inevitable that I was going to nudge it in a way that it found unfavourable.
There you go. Cool.
That's it. You have replaced a MacBook Pro battery. Yes. You can put on the shiny new cover if you want.
Huh.
No. I usually don't bother keeping all of the single paper towel that you get and stuff like that. But these credit card scrapers are very good to have on hand. There's lots of times where what you really want is a credit card sized scraper. So yeah, these are kind of useful. So I tend to hang on to these.
Plonk.
Plug in the USB sensor tester so you'll see if the computer switches on accidentally. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It doesn't really make a difference at this point because we're going to do the same thing anyway, which is to put the lid on and close it. On the newer ones especially, I haven't seen it happen with the Retinas, but certainly on the Type-C Apple laptops like to turn on whenever they feel like it. So using something like the CMI Zapper Chipmunks can be extremely helpful there, just so you actually have a power light going, I have switched on. Ultimately, in my opinion, the response is the same, is that as soon as the battery plugged in, as soon as the battery is plugged into a laptop, you should treat the motherboard as hot. And you should assume that. But it is a useful indicator.
So are these all the same on this one?
I believe so. Have we got stepped and unstepped? No, they are all stepped. Oh, actually. Yeah, there are two slightly short ones. That's one short one. Hang on a sec.
Which goes in the middle at the back.
Yes, and there's the other super short one. So there are two slightly shorter ones, and those go with back middle. All the rest of them are identical.
Cool.
Ooh.
Gong!
It did it subtly. Right, I'm going to pinch.
Okay. Oh, I see.
I hadn't said what I was going to pinch, or were you just like, I was just like, I'm going to pinch without specifying what I was pinching.
I was expecting a subject to your sentence.
I see.
I am going to crimes.
Yes. Do you want a bit more?
Yes, thank you.
I think there's another. I think there was another pint in there. Oh, I see. I'll change yours out.
Has the fly committed seppuku?
Yes.
Huh! Goodbye, fly. There you go. There we go. Professional MacBook technician. Professional.
I mean, you're not being paid to do this, which means you're not pro. That's the bar here. If you're being paid, you're a professional. If you're a hobbyist, no matter how good you are, you're not professional.
Professional?
I'm being facetious, by the way. Being paid to do something is one of the measures of being professional.
Ta-da!
Huzzah! It works.
Ta-da!
Better than some authorized ones, yeah. An authorized Mac repair center would replace the entire body of the laptop. So like the palm rest, the whole shooting match.
Why?
They'd replace that because it's glued. The battery is glued on. It is not replaceable. You must replace the entire chassis of the laptop. They are a single unit.
I see.
Yeah.
How do you do?
I believe I've got that correct. Someone can confirm.
How do I get the Mac says this battery is this capacity?
You want to go to the Apple menu about this Mac.
Hey.
And then system report. Aha, we do have brightness. I'm going to adjust the angle. I think our autofocus is going to hunt. Deal with it. The mystery mirror hands. You maximized it, you monster. What is it? This is why you hate Macs, is that you're trying to use them wrong. You don't maximize things on a Mac. Anyway. Look at all this space. Why would you maximize that window?
So what else am I going to be showing on this screen?
The pretty picture in the background. I don't. Anyway, then go to power. And as a special treat, I will now focus.
Hold on. If I do...
Oh my god. Professional.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. And yeah. Yeah. There we go. So, as you can see, battery power. Let me just nudge it a little bit. Have we got it? Yeah.
That one?
Ah, yes, there it is. Charge information. So, fully charged. There we go. So, there's your full charge capacity. So, it's just shy of 10 amp hours. And it is done one charge cycle because it is the first charge cycle that it is performing. There we go. Which side is today on the list? We're still working through the Hogan's Perry. Although I think we're trying to finish that up. Oh, sorry for the flashbang, everyone. I will immediately
perish.
Well, I think everyone else is going to perish, but there we go. Success.
I like that this, though, via software update, swapped from being a late 2012 to a late 2013.
I don't know.
Sorry, an early 2013 to a late 2013. Because this was of the generation where there was, like, sold for 3 months.
Yeah. There were a couple of, in the very early days of the Retinas, there were a couple of really oddball models. Like, there's a 13-inch one. I can't remember the A number of it, but there's a 13-inch one that I've seen twice in my career. So, you know, obviously, being a Mac repair specialist, I've seen a lot of Macs. I've only seen this one twice. And it is a bizarro... It's like, I think it is the first gen 13-inch Retina. And it has a completely different internal layout with, like, 40mm cooling fans and stuff. And just the first time I saw it, I took the cover off. I was like, what? What? You know?
What are you?
Yeah. And also, it's horrifying. And just, yeah, if you ever see one, run a mile. Trust me on this. Just do not... You see it. You'll know it when you see it. If you see it, do not...
Is that the right charger for this?
It is.
Cool.
Well, just about anyway. It's a 60-watt charger, not an 85-watt charger. But it will... It also, I don't know if that charger still works. Because it was not charging my MacBook.
The answer is charging. Connected but not charging.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're not getting a green light. I think this charger is busted. The wires are wonky and stuff like that. It's an old customer charger. Let's just tone this down a bit again.
Oh, I have a green light.
There you go.
I have an amber light. I'm still not charging.
Yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah, this charger is busted.
There we go. Power source, power adapter.
Yeah.
But I have the lightning bolt instead of the fork.
Yeah.
But it is not charging.
Yeah, no.
Is it because it's detected it's a 60, not an 85?
Possibly, but also it's just going to be upset because the charger is upset and it's wonky and like, yeah. If you plugged, if you plugged and unplugged it, it might do something. But this charger is busted, so like this is not a valid test.
I was mostly confirming that it still would pop up with the stuff.
That is a good start. Yeah.
It has popped up with the stuff.
Yeah. A1425 was a really popular model, but a long time ago. Yeah, was that the one? Yeah. I'm just going to quickly look it up just to see if the A1425 is the one I'm thinking of.
Oh no.
1425.
There is Shmoo.
Not surprising considering all things considered.
Oh, this is a 1393, so no.
Yeah, the A1425, that's the one I'm thinking of. Was it a really popular model? Yeah, like I say, I just never see it. Yeah, that's it. The SSD is hiding in a compartment under the trackpad that was clearly designed for a hard disk. Yeah, really bizarre.
Huh.
Really bizarre.
Do you have a working Mac charger?
I'm not sure, actually, because it was this week that I discovered that this one, which was my main general use charger, was knackered. And I was like, oh, that's busted.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I shall slot this back in my bag.
Yes, I might have another one somewhere. I just haven't looked for it yet because it was only it's only the last 24 hours that I realised this one was busted.
Can I interest you in a MacBook battery? Have a MacBook battery.
I'll put it in my collection of dead batteries.
I don't know how dead it is.
Vary based on this is.
I'll have you know, it's lightly used. One careful owner.
It's a decade old and has like 10 cycles on it or something like that, which is just like, however way you spin it, that's goosed, you know.
I'll have you know, it still provides at least 2 hours of runtime as long as you're looking at the wallpaper.
Yeah, absolutely horrid.
So in theory, now with a actually not decade-old battery, what should my expectations be? Should I expect 8 hours of word processing?
Yes. 6 to 8 hours of word processing, I think, is reasonable.
Fair enough. And 15 minutes of Chrome of Electron apps.
Yes. Teams. Oh no, Teams got remade, didn't it? Didn't they make Teams?
I don't know if it got remade on macOS.
Oh yeah.
It turned that into a friggin' fighter jet.
Yeah.
It was so loud. The fan noise out of that was so loud that the speakers were barely loud enough to hear the person talking over the top.
I'm so glad I don't have to deal with Teams, because everyone I know who has to deal with Teams is just like, I hate Teams so much, you can't understand.
I like Teams on my desktop because I have a 5950X, so I don't care.
Yeah. 16
cores at 4.6 gigahertz goes brrr. Please do not notice my 244 watts for Teams.
Right. Okay. This is rebooted because I knocked it.
Yeah, we were just going to take the cooler off and see if the thing was
cool.
No longer thinging properly.
Right, so let's...
Turn it off. Unplug everything.
Turn it off. Unplug everything.
And then burn the Antec. Burn the witch!
It works.
Yeah.
It continues to work after you've unplugged it.
Yeah.
Right. Log that somewhere that's not on this bench.
It's impossible to know where anything goes in this.
That's why I just put stuff down on the side. This is what I said to Trevor. He's like, where should I put this? And I say to him, somewhere that's not here. And he's like, well, where? I'm like, is it? Are you putting it down here? No? Good, then that's fine, you know.
You have a boy.
Right, let's take this apart.
Do not.
No. Right.
a random PCI lower USB 3 extender.
Thanks. Right. Okay, I'm going to shuffle this under...
Why? Oh, there you go.
How hot is your house now?
It's now only 26.
I see.
It had at one point, it registered as going up to 31, and I was just like, how is it getting hotter? It is 7 p.m.
All right, power supply clear. Shut. Okay, right. Let's see. I'd say tidy your shop, but mine's a bigger mess. Yeah, Si knows what's up. Oh, yeah.
Size is much tidier.
Whatever. Maybe you should go and do a podcast at Si's shop instead.
Okay.
Oh. I should have come along on that trip. I was sleeping on that, but you know what I'm like. Anyway.
Yes. Where did the big screwdriver go? Where did I put it? I had it, then I did not. Ah, there it is.
Welcome to my world.
Maybe if there was less detritus.
Detritus. Google, define detritus. Detritus. Loose material, such as rock fragments or organic particles, that results directly from disintegration.
Yes!
I love that. That results directly from disintegration. Now I understand the word, detritus. It is the disintegrate, you know? I don't know why I found that is oddly funny.
Huh. Get. There we go.
All right. Okay, right. Going in for the super close-up for what that may or may not be worth. I'm going to flip this around just so it fits better on shot. How's that? I'm just going to stick my head under that and have a good look.
Ah, it's your hair.
It is. It looks all right.
Yeah. It's a bit of a mess.
Yeah, like, bearing in mind that...
You'll probably want to tame down the brightness. Just so you can actually see a bit more.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, bear in mind that this bit here, it looks like it has deformed and melted inwards, but that's just the shape that I cut it in when I made the cutout for the capacitors. So, like, staring at that with my eyeballs, it hasn't actually deformed. And that's not to say that it weakened or anything. Like, I don't know. Are we going to take the contact frame off and just see if it's gone wonky or something?
Yeah, I was just going to see if I could clean up some of this mess first.
Does anyone use a ratcheting screwdriver for a PC build? No.
Lob it all in an ultrasonic.
Yeah, just because, like, Phillips number 2 and a Phillips number 1 if you want. It's all you need. This is kind of my beef with the LTT screwdriver. I'm sure it's very good. I have no use for it, you know. That's, yeah. I don't like ratcheting tools. I don't think they're useful.
Yeah, certainly not for PC stuff. Specifically in the context of PC stuff.
Yeah.
To reiterate, for PC stuff.
Yeah. I'd be interested to know at what time people do for... I mean, I guess maybe if there's someone who uses it, like if you work in, say, a data center and you're putting in racks and you've got to hold up a server with one hand and ratchet with your screwdriver in the other hand, maybe then. But I kind of feel like if you're doing that, you're doing it wrong. That's kind of the problem. The only times I can think of where the ratcheting is actually useful, I feel like, is because you're doing something improperly. Like, maybe? I don't know. I'm not trying to be a hater or anything. You know, I try my best to find. I like to like.
I am significantly advantaged in the fact that doing stuff like this, because we spent an entire term in A-levels doing everything one-handed for practicals, because it was a requirement of the course to be able to do it all, so you didn't get cross-contamination between stuff, because you did one set of the experiment with one hand, then you'd change and the reactions would be the other hand, sort of thing.
Oh.
So you didn't take agents from the beginning to the end.
Interesting.
On your hands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
So yes. Her.
Yeah. Adam Williams says, I tried the LTT screwdriver, too heavy and bulky for computer building or for my computer building. Yeah, like I'm like the reviews for it from people who do value tools like that are very good. For what it is apparently extremely good. Of that I have no doubt, but I'm baffled by the requirement of it as a screwdriver. Like, for example, the screwdriver that Caradog's currently using is from a Proxon kit that was gifted to me from Selfman. And when you need big screws like these T20s that we're taking out, it's really good. But when you're working on a computer or a laptop, it's wildly too big. You know, night and day too big. I use tiny Wera Craftform screwdrivers for laptops, and like I kind of had the same beef with the Gamers Nexus tools, where those were all big handled screwdrivers, and I'm like, what is this for? You know,
pulling apart graphics cards.
Yeah, but again,
that's specifically what they.
I guess, but I'd still use tools that were half the size. I don't know.
Looks basically the same.
Yeah.
It certainly survived at least, 10 or 15 minutes of.
It hasn't come out and immediately flexed 45 degrees sideways, has it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously one can easily do.
Yeah, it was that thin in the first place, though, wasn't it? So yeah.
And this is where it was at the beginning, but that's kind of why I'm not overly fussed about it, like sitting on capacitors, because this will just.
It's flexible enough that the capacitors will probably take the brunt of it.
Yeah.
Did it actually mark anywhere?
No, I think we see.
Yeah, I think we cut it out enough. I was going to say, I think the cutout could have been slightly better, but I'm not seeing any indentations anywhere.
Ah!
Fear! Is it okay? Like, did you look then?
No. If I don't look, it doesn't exist.
No, Caradog, no. You have to look now.
But I'll get thermal pasty fingers.
I think Caradog just killed us.
There you
go. Oh, did you get away with that? That guy is slightly out.
I got thermal paste in there.
However, considering what just happened, I'm astonished.
I mean, it's understandable because what I did was it was in the socket and I just flipped it over.
I thought it...
I didn't drop it.
Yeah.
It was in the socket and it just flipped over. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's okay!
I didn't kill it!
But there was an attempt. Does attempt imply intent?
Somewhat.
Very good. All right. Well, what's next then? What do we? So we've done another successful test. We can 3D print direct die contact frames for 4th gen Intel.
What we need to do is get the correct tools for the making of the things on the computer that these are printed from.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you said the tools that you had are not the correct tools.
Yes, yeah.
Then we need to make one of these that has sufficient reinforcement and stops on it to stop that freezer head.
Yeah.
That's what we need to make next.
Yeah. See.
Yes, and I don't know how we do that presently.
I
know what we could do.
Let me see.
I'm going to go look at the head. 1 second.
Okay.
Because I think what we can do is make a shim for the other end. Yeah, because what we could do is we can make a shim around this, where this doesn't go down into the board, not the board doesn't let that come down.
Okay,
so we're keeping this up by shimming this, as opposed to shimming the board.
Hang on a minute. I'm going to do a thing.
Yes.
We really should remember to switch to the correct camera angle. I've just flashbanged everyone on the face. I'm bad at this, everyone. Right. Are we going the right way? Is that going the right way? Okay, right.
Yes.
Could you tilt the camera so it's upright? It will swivel. Yep. That's it. Is that going the right way?
Yes.
Okay, right. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Is this why people come here? Okay, right. You're center frame now. All right.
What you want here?
Right. Firstly, here is that's the streaming PC, everyone. Right. Okay. Nah. Down a bit. There a bit. There we go. Okay. Right. Your center frame.
There you go. So yes, I was saying about because there is a lip here, could basically print something that goes onto this, and then stops this coming down into the motherboard. As opposed to something that sits on the motherboard and stops this coming down.
Yeah. So so we basically
just make it easier for die clearance because we wouldn't have to worry about thickness.
Yeah.
Because we're comparing this to the motherboard as opposed to the CPU substrate, the die thickness to the mounting pressure.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Yeah. Cool.
But we might have to we'd have to work something out that fitted with this and the ILM because we'd need an ILM to stop a CPU falling out.
Yeah. Okay.
But
right.
It's workable.
With that being said, I'm going to quickly tinker and I'm going to see if I can get it set up. Do you want to assume the position? So,
Which position am I assuming? I shall simply stand here.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Oh, we have capture from over there already. Yeah. I'm a fool.
How do we have capture over here?
Oh, right. Yeah.
What?
Ignore me. Ignore me.
You need to plug in the black one. And then the black one's at the back of the PC.
It's too late. I'm plugging in this one now because that's the kind of person I am.
Are you good?
Never.
Okay. Capture with Facecam. I have a desktop.
Right.
And nothing else.
Bin that. Bin that. Oh, keep that. Right.
It's a desktop with nothing else.
Yeah.
There we go.
That. And
ooh, excuse me.
Get rid of that.
Assume the position. Face down.
And we want. Come on, Blender.
Yes. Yes.
And we want that.
Z790 Edge. What? What's Z790 Edge?
Ooh. Oh, the motherboard that's over there. That motherboard is there just because it's there. Excuse me, players.
That's also not a Z790 board.
It is, though.
What?
The MSI box next to the
freezer.
freezer.
Oh, the MSI box. Sorry.
Yes.
It's a box, though.
It has a motherboard in it.
Ah.
The motherboard has bent pins, but I don't have I don't have a CPU to test with at the moment, which is why I haven't fixed it yet. It was gifted by a customer. However, I haven't bothered doing anything with it because I don't have a CPU for it.
Yes.
Okay, right. That's the wrong mouse.
Which mouse do I require for this computer?
I want.
Do you not want to just look at the monitor?
Let's swap. Get out my way.
Why don't you just look at the monitor?
You look at the monitor and then tell me where the mouse is.
Oh, why is this always so much work?
You're so much work.
Damn it, Graham. Why are you like this?
I don't know. Right. Okay. Right. I'm making this up as I go along. I'm just... Right, open. No, I want to import. Import an STL. This is not the correct program to be doing this in. I'm just opening this up just so we can just go, these are things we can do, you know? Intel CPU frame.
Have you considered sanity? No.
Never. Really? Is that not... Were there no STLs in there? That must have been my output folder. Where's downloads? Files. Here are the STLs. Right, so if we start with the... So the 0.6mm is the one we liked. Import STL.
Ah, yes, it's a square.
That's default cube, which always gets deleted immediately. Right, let's just...
Zoom.
Oh boy. Zoom. Okay, right, hold up a sec. Oh, there it is. Here we go.
Where are you? Ah!
Where are you? Okay, right.
I'm so sorry.
Okay,
I'm so sorry, everyone.
Right, so what do we want to do with this then? So we want... Do I get... Oh, sort of, yeah. So, which way up are we? Okay, that's upside down. That's the right way up. All right. So we want to make we want to make this internal bit thinner then. Is that right? Or... Right, tell me what you want again.
Purely talking about the modifications that we made today, we need to make the hole in the middle bigger. We need to increase hole size.
Okay.
What rotation do you have that in? You have that in that rotation.
Yeah.
I require the side closest to us.
Yeah.
This side.
Right, so should I just make the entire hole bigger, or should we make it offset in that direction?
If you can offset,
because then we have more material.
If you can pull this 1 millimeter in, so if you can shift that 1 millimeter right effectively, that will be the requirement.
So if we come around like that, we grab all of those vertices and we go move. Now this is the problem where running in Blender is a bit sketchy, because what units are we in is the big question. So I should be able to move 1 meter in Blender equaling 1 millimeter. Don't ask. I don't know. So if I just make that 1, that's moved it 1 square across, which in Blender says it's 1m, like a meter.
Oh, it is. You have moved it 1 unit.
Yes.
Because the units are irrelevant, because you can scale the output size
and
to anything.
Yeah. So,
and the size only matters in the slicer.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing where it's actual reality.
Exactly. Yeah, and in Blender, we're working on the assumption, we're working on a scale of one Blender meter equals 1 millimeter in scaling.
Yeah, okay.
And again, it doesn't matter until we get to the slicer. But yes, editing STLs is so the wrong way. Yeah, this is why I didn't want to do it live. However, I'm like, just for argument's sake, for proof of concept, this demonstrates what we can start doing with it, basically.
And then we'd want to move in the other side by the amount we move that across.
Okay, so we just want to move the entire hole across then. Okay, so in that case...
As far as I can tell, give me 1 second and let me stick this on top.
So if I grab all of that then, and just move it all by 1...
See, because it can come across, and it would be absolutely fine. It wouldn't make any difference.
Yeah. Do we want to widen that slightly? Lengthways?
Not overly.
No? Okay, cool. Leave that as it is then.
Oh. I guess it depends on whether we're trying to maintain as much material in this bit as possible, or whether we don't care. Because it would be a case of the side towards the 2 screws, you'd want to move that 1 towards the screws. So whichever side is the 2 screws.
Okay.
On there, you'd want to move it 1 towards the screws.
Okay, so let's pull out. So that would be, those are the 2 screws. So we want to grab them. Yeah. And how far do we want to move that by?
The same amount we went across.
1 millimeter, yeah.
Yeah, effectively.
So let's move that by 1 millimeter as well. Okay, so we've now moved the internal hole.
Yeah.
Whoop. So we've now moved this internal hole across 1 millimeter, and we've widened it toward the back screws by 1 millimeter.
Yeah.
So what else would we do with it?
Do you have... I require a ruler.
Would the calipers do?
I need to measure the circle of the head.
Yeah. The calipers are the most accurate measuring device I've got in here. Yeah. Right. Mike Jones says, thanks, I was using more crude ways to do edits. Yeah, like I said, Blender is not the right tool to be doing, I don't know what you'd call this, computer-aided... Blender is not a CAD tool. I guess in a way it is, because it's computer-aided design, and any kind of design on a computer is CAD by one argument or another. But I should be using a program that is better suited for this. Blender is like Photoshop. You're not supposed to work in pixels in Photoshop. You're supposed to work by just brushing and things like that. Blender is similar to that respect. However, you can dial in numerical values, therefore I can do precision movements with this. What are your thoughts? Caradog's doing a think.
Ignore the units.
Yeah.
But for sake of putting words to it,
yeah,
the head is 38 mil.
Yeah. So
we want a 39 mil hole circle on this.
So I'm just going to move the camera back to here so people can see what we're doing. So if we go to bench cam with face and come up.
Hello.
Okay, right. Try your best to explain what we're trying to achieve again.
Yeah, so for the sake of simplicity with units,
yeah,
the outer circumference of the metal bit that gets cold,
the cold plate
of the freezer, the cold plate,
the circular cold plate,
is for all intents and purpose we'll say 38 millimeters.
Yeah, from
one side to the other, so diameter.
Okay,
which is this.
Yeah.
On the socket is covering this bit of it.
It's quite comfortably inside then, yeah.
So we need everywhere outside of this to be able to take the load from screwing it down.
Yeah. Right, so that 38 mil, that doesn't reach across the chip, does it? Because we're relying on these edges to be our anti-crush.
Yeah, because 38 mil, like that, is edge to edge on the CPU. Where's the other one? There. Because if I take that and put that in there, the actual CPU is what, 37-ish?
Yeah. So
it covers as a circle the entirety of this.
Yeah. But so our objective for the ILM is to make it so the cooler cannot crush the CPU. But the problem is
to be harder.
Yeah.
Certainly at the very least.
The cooler is coming down inside of our radius, which means we cannot. It's coming down inside of the area that we can catch. So how do we prevent it from coming down too far then?
Can we do from here to there and from there to there in a straight line something that would be strong enough?
Yeah. Well, strong enough I don't know. But we can fill in these gaps.
Can we fill across from there? So hold on, let me engage poking stick.
Yeah.
Can we fill from there to there?
Yeah.
On this side.
And just leave out those little corner cutouts.
And I guess we can cut that bit out because we don't need to fill in there, but just across there, and then fill all of this.
Yeah.
And all of this. But then the question becomes, no, because that bit of plastic here is the height of the die, effectively. Give or take. Oh, that's difficult. And
we can fill this area, but it's still going to be so thin that it will not provide crush protection. Well, actually, it would press down against that plastic, so
we need to do is get the height of this to be... Oh, this is very difficult.
Yeah. See, if we were working with metal, it wouldn't be an issue because this whole structure would be 100% rigid. But because we're working with plastic, as soon as we go thin, it becomes deformable. Is this why direct die contact kits are made of metal? Yes, is the answer there.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what we're discovering. We're kind of just sort of going, can we cheat the system here, basically?
The difficulty, the difficulty is there aren't 4th gen direct die kits that I've found.
Yeah.
Certainly no one seemed to make any.
The other possibility is that we go full Mad Lad and like if we
what if we make these? What if we just stop the screws? Stop the socket, stop the screw through there and just have that.
Yeah, okay. So we're going with the how other coolers do it method. So at the moment our screws are very tall, narrow screws with infinite thread on them. So there are no stops on the screws. They keep going until you just crush everything. So how do we provide a stopping point? Do we make tall ones of these that are exactly the right height? Like big tall ones where the plate comes down on top of them?
Yeah, effectively.
Because when we're 3D printing, there's functionally no limit to the height.
Yeah.
You know, so we could just make really tall ones of these that would be like up here, so the hold down plate sits up here. We just need to know.
Effectively.
Yeah, we just need to know how tall that would be.
And that's easy to measure.
Yeah.
2 seconds, because I can measure that right now.
Really random idea. Sand down the IHS until the die is exposed. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's done that before. Theoretically, you could do that.
Oh, why won't you...
Right, I'm going to... Angle grinder sanding, yeah, bad idea. Yeah, I think it is a bad idea, but like...
It would be basically making them like 35 millimeters tall.
Yeah.
So it'd be 35 millimeter ones of those, because then that... Wait, it'd be 35 millimeters less the height of the side of this. So 35...
save that.
Less 5, so it'd be 30... 29. We'd want it 29.9 tall or something like that.
So die default cube.
So yeah, so we basically just want this 29.9.
Import. Whoops, not an FBX. I want an STL. Import STL. I'm going to.
Sorry, plus. Yeah, it'd be plus because we want to lift it higher than that because the socket's away from the board. So it'd be, what did I say, 35, 40... So we'd want it 13, yeah, 39.9.
Okay, so
we want it...
Oh, interesting, they put it sideways. That doesn't matter, actually.
Yeah, we'd want it 39.9 by 10 with an internal of 4.
Right, hang on a sec, I'm not listening. And in a moment, I will tell you to tell me all of that again. I'm just trying to figure out that this came with a file for these spacers, and I'm just opening that up so I can start working with it. Right. Right. What's the millimeter width of those spacers?
10.
Total from outside.
10.
10. Okay. Okay, those are 12. However, that doesn't matter. That's...
Yeah, if anything, we'd want them to be slightly bigger.
10. Yeah, so these are going to be slightly oversized, which is fine because we don't have...
Which is what we want.
Yeah,
we don't have a width issue.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
And then we want the internal to be 4.
So we want the internal to... Okay, internal to be 4.
Or minimum of 4.
Minimum of, yeah. Okay, I got 4.5-ish at the moment.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, cool.
Because it just needs to let an M3 through it.
Yeah. Okay then.
And then the height, the Z, needs to be 39.9.
39.9. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I start, this isn't going to be the actual file. For the actual file, I will actually zoom in and get precise measurements. I'm just eyeballing this. Oh, that needs to be higher still. Okay, let's pull back and taller. 39.8. 0.85. That's close enough. So about up to there. So it needs to go up to that line and come down slightly. So so let's edit that. Grab all the top vertices. And I'm just going to move all of those up to there. Whoop.
Yeah.
And let's zoom in. And let's make that probably about that.
Yeah, basically.
All right. So, behold, we have a very tall standoff.
Yeah.
So that's fundamentally what we want. We have a hilariously tall plastic standoff.
Yeah.
And that means that our hold down plate, which is the hold down
plate is the thing that actually applies the pressure to the head.
Correct. And that is working fundamentally the same as any other CPU cooler. It's just very high off the board because of the style of cooler. So now this means that the hold down plate can only go as low as these standoffs, which means we put a limiting factor on how low the cooler can go and how much pressure it can apply. So yeah, we want that, and we want a couple of metal. We might want a couple of metal washers or something, just so we can add in, like if we've maybe go slightly underside and add a metal washer on top that we could remove to go tighter if we wanted to or something. Although we could also, sanding them down will make it all uneven. But yeah, I'm trying to think we could print one off and then just measure how accurate it is. Yeah. Because obviously when we print this and then it shrinks under cooling, we can print it at 39.9 millimeters. It ain't going to come out at 39.9 millimeters.
Oh, I see. That you don't have a specific. There is not a specific adjustment ratio presently on that machine. For PLA.
It's like how much is a new T-shirt going to shrink in the first wash? We don't know.
Oh, I see. It is not a reasonably universal factor.
Not to my knowledge. It depends on the filament. Like, we could do tests with certain filament and go, okay, this filament has a shrink ratio of X amount, so we could then run maths for that once we've figured that out. Yeah. I can't be bothered to do that, so I would eyeball it. Yeah. But then I would probably just say I'll print that at 40 millimeters because we want 39.9. Yeah. I print that at 40 millimeters, assume it's going to shrink slightly, and it'll probably come out at like 39.7 or something like that.
Yeah. So if you print 4 of them, will they shrink by the same amount?
You'd be lucky, probably.
What? Yeah. I guess my question is what degree of millimeter variance are we talking? Are we talking 0.1 of a millimeter variance, or are we talking an entire millimeter of variance?
I would say point. Well, it could be more because when I printed the white hold down, plates, the first ones I did, those shrank by 0.1 of a millimeter. But that was over a total. That was supposed to be 0.8, and they shrank to 0.7. On a bigger thickness, the ratio would be maintained, so it might shrink by more. So over a larger amount.
But 4 of them would shrink by the same amount.
I would assume so.
Yeah. Okay. We don't need to measure each one and print off 19 of them, and measure which ones are the closest. Then to get actually accurate. No, that's fine. Yeah. Because we're not talking about 0.001 of a millimeter level of accuracy. We're talking about 0.1 of a millimeter accuracy.
Yeah. I'd still print off like 8 of them instead of 4. Yeah. But because also that means that if we measure one and we find that one is slightly out, we can then just give that a little bit of sanding and then measure again. Yeah. So yes, DeBauer has lots of sandpaper accidents. Yeah, basically that. Yeah. The Graham. Yes. I see.
Also, someone was saying about sanding off the
ILM.
The IHS. The actual CPU core.
Yeah.
DeBauer has 3 videos about doing that with a CPU and then putting it under a scanning electron microscope. So yeah, that's worth looking at.
Interesting.
Available in English and German.
Very well. So yeah, okay. So that's some food for thought. Okay, so what we've done today is we printed off a 3D printed direct dye ILM that works. We have the capability of doing a slightly improved version that we don't have to cut, although I don't know if we need to be honest, because I think what we've decided is to control our pressure, we're going to print off tall standoffs for the freezer instead.
Yeah, I would like to do more sturdy version of this somehow. I don't know how we'll do that.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, we could fill in the gaps to get a little bit more. I just don't know. I don't think that will achieve anything.
Yeah.
I don't think any changes we make to that, go back to Benchcam. I don't think any changes we make to this spacing around here is going to make any actual difference to its performance, because they will not add any meaningful strength.
Yeah. Which is, yeah.
So ultimately, we've got the direct die system. We need to control the pressure, and we can do a better job of controlling the pressure with tall standoffs.
Yeah, certainly.
This is also a much simpler design where it is easier for us to make changes to it as well.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about for the freezer. I was just thinking about for other coolers.
Oh, just in general, yeah.
Because if it was this easy to direct die this, why wouldn't we direct die everything? If that makes sense, was kind of my thought.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we direct die everything that's, why wouldn't we direct die all of the CPUs?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Certainly at least all of the socket 1150X ones.
I mean, if we bring up, if I open recent, ILM, don't save that, we don't need it. So this guy...
because that will work with all socket 1150X.
Pretty much, yeah. All we need to do is just adjust the hole size, and like
is the thin bit contacting the substrate on the underside? Is the thin bit contacting?
I'm going to flip this so it's the right way up for how it would actually be in reality.
Run that past me again, JD. Can you swap to a bench cam for 2 secs?
Sure thing.
Wait, I have the mouse here.
Go to bench cam. Yep.
Okay. So, when you say the thin bit, directions are confusing me. There you go. Are you talking about this thin bit that sits effectively on the substrate? And then a question of, is it on the underside of what?
Oh, I see. I think.
Oh, I see. Does this touch this? Kind of. Yeah, that was the other idea. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was does making this, we can do 0.16 of a millimeter steps?
Yeah.
Does making this 0.16 of a millimeter thicker provide crush protection for the die, effectively? Because
I see.
The pressure then is applied to the substrate.
Yes. Yeah, that would potentially be a safety net at a cost of less effective die contact.
But the question is ensuring that there is actually die contact.
Yeah.
But having the pressure be compressional onto the substrate. But the issue is you're then pushing it all onto the pins. And is that a problem?
Yeah.
And then the question of, is that a problem?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because, ultimately, we only tested this one. And, wow, that feels really flat, running my finger across it. So, yeah, we could... we would need pressure paper so we can actually test what the actual contact patch looks like, and to see if there's any mileage in making this a fraction of a mil thicker. Because even though we only have so much print resolution, we can influence it. Like I discovered with the multicolored, wherever the others have gone, the multicolored one that we sanded, that one printed ever so slightly thicker, just because that filament just applies thicker. And so, we can influence the thickness in analog ways. So, yeah. Do we need to think about if the plastic will compress over time? It probably would, but this would be a suicide run.
It will be a case of it will be in use for 4 hours.
Yeah, that's it. And you would, realistically, you would need to assume that it would compress, and in which case you would just print off a new one before any run you were going to do. We would use it for a day And then in 4 months down the line, when we're dicking around again, we just print off a fresh one.
Because didn't you say that the filament cost of this was something like 16p?
Oh yeah, these were between 15 and 20 pence, depending on the settings I was using. Yeah. They cost nothing.
So even accounting for electricity, etc., 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 you're talking about less than 50p.
Yeah. Yeah, the cost of making these is functionally nil.
So a case of it only lasting for one day when you're only using it once a week most is a tolerable cost.
And again, we're not developing this as an actual product. This is just developed as this is for crazy people who are doing silly things, Yeah,
absolutely. Although the one thing that the compressional question would be important for the standoffs, just because they're that much bigger. In theory, there'd be that much more compression available.
Yes.
So in fact, if we need, say, 39.9 millimeters as a stop, we need them to be 40 because they will compress to 39.9 sort of thing. So that'll just be a consideration. Just if the compression over the length is
something that I am thinking about with this is, rather than making tall standoffs, what if we just did add cube? What's the dimensions of these holes?
Oh, I can't remember. I think that's inside to inside is 71.
Cool. So let's just go 70 by 70. Oops.
So middle of hole to middle of hole is probably 75, because I remember it being a 75 square or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So ignore the accuracy of this cube. Didn't have time to build it to size or to paint it. So here, instead of doing a bunch of standoffs,
middle of hole to middle of hole is 75.
Instead of doing a bunch of standoffs, we do 2 plates. Cylinder.
What?
Radius, depth 100. Radius, and how thick do we want our holes to be? Do we say 11 or 12?
The holes?
12 mil. Yep.
At least 10.
Yeah.
Because then an M3 can go down the middle of it.
Got something terribly wrong with my measurements here, but roll with me here. This is just purely concept.
Your view plane to positioning
is fucking awful. Right. Okay, let's do that. Hold on. Right. I don't know why I'm trying to make this to any reasonable scale, actually. Let's just zoom in, because I'm mocking up here. So if we do that... right. Oh my god. What even is this? I'm tired. There we go. Right. That. So we're going to make this a hole. Stay with me here. Stay with me. There's a plan.
Right.
All right. This needs to be thicker. There we go. And so we're going to do that. Modifier. Right, let's see. Add modifier. Boolean. And we're going to collection. Difference. Oh god, where are we?
Right.
Right. There we go. Right. And make another one of those cylinders.
Okay.
All right. So what we do is... Oh wait, there we go. So we make one of these, and this is printed flat. So now instead of having 2 tall standoffs, we have a plate that is printed flat. And it's got the infill in it, so it's going to have significantly more strength because it's a plate on the side.
Sure.
And we just do a cutout so it dodges the capacitors, so it just goes up and over slightly. And now we have something that will have drastically stronger strength on it. We could even make it into like a frame that sits there, like a scaffold that goes around the CPU kind of thing.
Sure.
Just say you're making a frame. Yeah. That's what I should have said. That just took me longer to do than I thought it would.
My only comment with that is, sure, it just makes it per motherboard. So
I suppose, yeah.
So you'd have to reprint every motherboard. So if we were partway through and this board was pissing us off and we swapped to that one, we'd have to stop for an hour to design the other one, print the other one for a different board.
Yeah. I mean, we could have generous clearances over there or something.
But now they're just pillars with a bit on top.
Mm.
And what does the bit in the middle give us other than a longer print time?
Yeah.
Why does a column make any difference?
Yeah.
To me, I understand what you're saying. If you were making it to a specific board,
yeah,
kinda, yeah. But it's just a case of, why is that not exactly the same thing, but less printing and swappable to any motherboard?
I'm just thinking this would have a lot more crush resistance.
But we don't need it to have crush resistance.
Well, that was.
We don't need it. Yeah, we don't need it to have crush resistance. We need it to have these other stops.
Okay.
Because we're not going to monkey it, are we?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we're not gonna go and down there. We just need it to go down to a bite point, don't we?
We need uniform height on all four of them that is relative to the board, to account for the fact that the board won't sit perfect and all of that, which is what makes it difficult on there. And it counts as a final stop in the sense of, because sure, you can have a marker line on a screw. If you're not really paying attention, you could go straight past that.
Yeah.
But it just also means that the plate is far more likely to be flat, etc., etc.
Yeah. You can have the plate on top of the short poles. That would possibly be useful for just quick mounting, actually, just have a support around the top of the pole so it just goes on as a single thing.
Yeah.
So that would be useful just for the purposes of not having to fiddle and line it all up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If I'm looking for ways to improve it just to make it easier to mount it all up, that would have use, yeah. So, yeah, it could be interesting. Yeah. Okay.
I guess if we're making it for socket 11...
Intel socket.
50X. but not 1700 or 1200 or...
Yeah.
We could make it so it was a part of this. Effectively, because this keep out has to be a keep out on all boards.
Yeah.
That diagonal from there to there, there to there, there to there has to be a keep out on all boards.
Oh god.
So it could be.
Yeah, are you suggesting that we have an ILM that has built-in standoffs?
We could do.
Yeah.
Because have the frame that way round instead of it at the top. That was the only difference, and it's just a case of that can all go together. I don't know how that's useful.
Yeah.
But it also helps. But it also helps with the alignment to these holes because this clicks over the socket effectively. So I was just thinking it helps with the alignment there slightly.
Yeah. It's a cool idea. I don't think that one is useful. And also, as JD said, I think that would start bringing in print complications.
Because you'd have to somehow tell it to print basically all of this, then start going out to those to not bash into each other and stuff.
Yeah.
And it'd start having to do loops like this.
The issue is this guy gets printed upside down as it is in order to make sure to prioritise that part.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It suddenly becomes a complete mess.
Yes. Interesting. It's a cool idea. Yeah. Though. Yeah. Again, I appreciate the idea. Yeah. It's a cool. Yeah. So yes, but no.
How it would be easy to add a foot though, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Because you could add a foot with a lip, and then these go over the lip.
Yeah.
And it just holds them in place, and you don't need screws to go through.
Yeah. Again, for the purposes of ease of mounting.
But it's then the wrong way around.
Yeah. Again, I think JD's idea of having 4 big standoffs with a plate at the top is the best way, because again, you'd print it upside down.
Yeah, or effectively just arches. It's effectively a set of arches.
Yes.
And then you just infill the corners.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
because that will sit well inside the side of the plate, and all it's doing is just giving you a reasonably solid stop. So if you're not actively paying attention to where you're screwing to something that is firm.
And it also helps add stability to the cooling plate as we wind it down, because where those screws are so tall, there's just so little stability on the whole thing. So that I think adds purpose to this. Is it provides that bit of scaffold that I was referring to that gives the whole hold down stability. Because like we've known that needs improvement. We're just not sure how to do it. And I think this is our answer actually. A 3D printed scaffold that sits around the CPU, providing a block to screw down on top of effectively. Absolutely. So and that scaffold isn't necessarily for crush protection, but just for stability when screwing it down. So I think that's a plan. And this is very easy. This would be very easy to do. I like it. So, all right. So, given that we're 3 hours 25 minutes, it's time to wrap up.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Looking forward. So when are the gang coming around?
Si, when are you coming here? I think it's the 20th.
Yeah, end of September, late September.
23rd, I think.
23rd. 23rd is 2 weeks' time.
Yes, I believe it's the 23rd.
Yep. So not next week, but the week after. And Si is bringing along an M-Power motherboard, which is a hilariously overkill 4th gen motherboard designed for extreme overclocking. I assume it's designed for extreme overclocking anyway.
We'll find out though.
Well, we're gonna try and do some extreme overclocking. So we're gonna get a bonkers 4th gen motherboard. A 4790K CPU, so the top CPU for that motherboard, and the freezer. And we're gonna but within 2 weeks, I need to prototype the frame that we've just defined, and we should have our best shot at real direct die extreme overclocking on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So supports LN2. So cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's where we're going with all of this. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to have a bonkers motherboard. We've already got the bonkers cooler. Now we have a direct die system, so we don't get bottlenecks by bad internal thermal paste.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Because that's what will happen if we don't. The direct die was critical, because otherwise we're just going to run into internal thermal paste, and we're going to be stuck with an evaporator head at -30 and a core at +50.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the one thing we'll need is SATA power connectors to replace all of the power connectors on that.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we need to think of. I just thought of we need to do to that beforehand.
Yeah.
We just need to swap those out. And
is that something we could do next week? Could we just do that live, or do we need to sit down and put thought into that?
I don't think it needs that much thought, but it's also a case of it's a lot of waiting. If an awful lot of it is sitting and waiting and doing stuff that isn't particularly engaging with people.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
So it's just a case of I don't know how well it works live.
Yeah, fine. We'll keep
It's doable, but I think it's also a case of
we'll put a pin.
Make sure.
We'll put a pin in that then. Because I do agree. I was just voicing it out loud, basically.
Do we have a nicer power supply?
What's wrong with the Antec?
Do we have a nicer power supply? One where all the cables actually connect.
Okay, so here's what I've got. We got the GameMax 1050.
We got a kilowatt GameMax.
Yeah, we got the GameMax 1050.
Yeah.
We got the Antec HCP 1000. I've got an RM1000X, but I don't. Oh no, the RM1000X. No, the RM1000X might have issues. It intermittently cuts out once in a blue moon.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Now, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how trustworthy it would be. Like, it's no good as a daily driver, but considering we don't really care if it cuts out and we have to redo a run, that's not the end of the world. So yeah, we've also got that.
I guess it's the question of just whichever one actually turns off when you turn it off. Both of them actually turn off, don't they? Which
theoretically
is the main thing. So, that's fine. So,
bring your Be Quiet. Yeah, I'd say considering you're coming in a car size, so you don't have a weight limit. Yeah, bring your Be Quiet as well, just for that way we have. I'll make sure that I've got the RM 1000 in here as well, and that way we have 4 power supplies to choose from.
And then we've got a full
one of them will
cables to replace them with anyway, haven't we?
One of them will do what we need it to do.
Yeah, that's fine.
And considering, we only need to power the CPU.
200 watts anyway.
Yeah. Like,
2 to 300 watts.
If we get that far, then I think we will have won. So, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. We're talking about, total load in the actual PSU, 2 to 300 watts, so it's not a problem.
Yeah. Cool.
So, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, then.
Yes. And then we'll need to find some DDR3 that's not awful, which I don't think this is too bad.
Yeah.
But we'd want more than 8 gigs.
We've got the other 8 gig kit. It just depends on whether you want to go 4 modules or whether
I don't know whether 4 modules will be a problem.
Yeah. It's up to you.
Yeah. Have you 8 gig DDR4 modules, DDR3 modules exist? Yes.
Yes.
But they're very expensive, I presume, by comparison these days.
I don't think so. I just don't want to buy DDR3.
Oh really? Oh, 2133 kit. Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, if you've got that SI and you don't mind bringing that with you, that'll do. Yeah. Because that's the thing, is just I've sold off all of my nice DDR3 because I don't care about DDR3. And I don't,
2x8 kit, yeah.
Yeah,
fabulous.
and I don't really want to spend money on DDR3.
Yeah, that's fab.
So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, cool. We got all the pieces then, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
So my homework then is to make this frame, which is not going to be particularly difficult because it's a simple design.
Yeah.
And so I can do that and have a couple ready to go.
Yeah. And then.
So that we've got the motherboard, we've got the RAM, we've got the cooler. We know the cooler works.
Have you got a C-clip remover?
Yes. Cool. I've got this. Yeah, I got the C-clip pliers.
Cool. That's fine.
Yep. So
just because we need to take the plate off of that because it's the AM4 plate. And we need to find the Intel plate that should be inside the cooler.
I see. Yes. Yeah. We should. Yeah. When we stop in a minute, we'll just stick our eyeballs in there and make sure it's there.
Yeah.
Cool. Very well then. I think that's it. I've enjoyed this conversation in English.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know where the conversation has gone in the sense of attempting to map it out in a line, but.
That's it. I think
it's very much.
Yeah, we seem to. We're just taking very small steps to prepare ourselves for another. Because we've tried to do extreme overclocking before, and we keep hitting roadblocks that just prevent us from actually getting to like big numbers.
Yeah.
We've done things where we're like, this is proof of concept. You can see how extreme overclocking works.
Yeah.
We've just never done something that's actually buck wild. Whereas at the moment, touch wood, I think we actually have all the pieces for an actual extreme overclocking setup. Someone was just like, I'd hate to see you guys with LN2. And I'm like, yeah, me too. However, short of LN2, I think we're probably going to have something that is, Scotty Doggy, yeah. I don't think, I think I've said this before, but if Caradog wanted to plan everything for an LN2 run, I would host it. I'm not brave enough for that. However, I think this is as close as we can get to. Like, we could take some pot shots at... I think we're going to have enough equipment to take some pot shots at, like, record category numbers. I'm not saying we would set a record.
I'd certainly be quite interested in seeing if we can get,
Yeah. When we're asking what numbers are we looking for, we're going to be looking at the records.
Yeah.
I think.
That would certainly be nice to be able to hit something around there.
If we can even get onto like the same class as those records, I think we have the setup for that.
Yeah, it'd be certainly fun for hardware bot submissions.
Yeah.
Now
cool.
that I actually have an account.
Brawl Story Co.
Absolutely.
Very well.
Indeed.
All right. Well, that being the case. Another tab. I've enjoyed this conversation in English. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Watch YouTube Studio log us out now.
Eric, you need to change your video resolution. The current resolution is 4K, which is not supported.
I see. Fine.
Very well.
Yep.
Thank you.
What is next video, says Firephone. Probably it's going to be an Xbox Series X HDMI port replacement. I was going to do it today. I didn't get to it. I'm going to do it at the start of the week. I've missed this week. It's been a bad week. Mainly, the Xbox was going to be this week, but the replacement port took like 4 days to arrive. So yeah, like each day I was like, I'll do the Xbox today and that'll be this week's video. And then the port didn't show up. So yeah, Xbox is coming up. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being here. See you next week with something. Bye!
Toodles!